Young lord, you are so quick. Su Xing and Gongsun Huang emerging so quickly honestly made Wu Xinjie somewhat surprised at this turn of events. Because she pertained to dragons, the dragon in the clouds Gongsun Xing's nickname was the hardest to seize. In no more than 10 days, this truly was unreasonably fast. Originally, Wu Xinjie had thought there would be 2 more days at the bare minimum before they came out. Su Xing, and what star general did you bump into this time? Shi Yuan curiously asked. To be able to return so quickly could only be because they joined hands with another star master or star general. Not only did Shi Yuan think of this, the other girls also felt as such. Their excitement did not persist for too long, for when they saw Su Xing's bitter smile, all of the girls stopped. Just what the hell happened? Shi Yuan blinked. Elder sister Little Huang, just what sort of star beast did you catch? Gave up. Gongsun Huang expressionlessly spat out these 2 words. What? The inside of the immortal's abode was suddenly greatly shocked. Give up. Why? Could it be Master encountered a formidable star general? Yan Yizhen this time was incapable of understanding. All of them directed their gazes at the 2. This was something I decided without asking. Gongsun Huang seemed not at all inclined to explain much. Wu Xinjie also forced a smile. Little Huang, perhaps you felt because there was not enough time that you would do this? The distance to the Buddha Kingdom's Feast of All Souls was only a short several days, leaving perhaps not much time for Su Xing's meditative mind lotus, and Gongsun Huang's star beast was considerably difficult to capture. 10 days' time was far from enough. If she gave up like this, it was forgivable, but it somewhat made them regretful. Then it seems we can only think of something after we go to the Buddha Kingdom. Wu Xinjie said. Evil Smiting Hall's rules were that Evil Smiting Hall would be open for 3 months' time. Any star general that entered Evil Smiting Hall was unable to leave before 3 days had passed. After 3 days passed, if they still were in a situation where they had not captured a star beast, then they could still enter in the 2nd month. In other words, each star general had 3 chances to enter Evil Smiting Hall. Although Gongsun Huang gave up this time, it could not be said she did not have a chance. But succeeding upon entering once, reportedly, the level of agreement between star generals and star beasts would be even more psychic. Of course, this was only a legend. But the star duels inherently would not slip up on any details. Since this was a legend, many star generals still were willing to capture a star beast within the 1st month. Seeing the ranked 4th Gongsun Huang unexpectedly so resolute in giving up on a star beast, this was contrary to reason. Wu Siyou gazed at Gongsun Huang, feeling incredulous. Opposite her, Chai Ling shot Su Xing a meaningful glance. The 2 star maidens that kept themselves uninvolved had gazes that were completely different from one another, but the mood in their hearts still was very much the same. Since little Huang has given up, then Xinjie shall also give up. Wu Xinjie smiled. The remaining time shall be left to little sister Chai Ling. No can do. Before the other beautiful ladies spoke, Su Xing was the first to oppose. Young lord, why not? Wu Xinjie smiled and asked. If you want, we can just go to Evil Smiting Hall together. First go take a look, no need to capture at all. Su Xing wrinkled his brow. Yes, we've all gone. If Sister Xinjie doesn't go, we'd feel very apologetic. Shi Yuan approved. The other girls also agreed, and even Lin Yingmei nodded. Sister Xinjie, go with big brother once. Elder sister's star beast could perhaps not be so difficult to capture. And Suan said. But I can go together with little Huang next time. The current time is not enough. Wu Xinjie's brows rose. We don't know what will happen when we go to the Buddha Kingdom. Since this is already in front of us, don't delay. Su Xing said. Then, his gaze looked at Chai Ling, and he asked, Chai Ling, what do you feel? Wait for me to go with you later. What opinion can this palace have? In short, this palace simply does not want to leave empty-handed this time. Chai Ling seemed to smile yet not. Su Xing nodded. All right, then Xinjie shall go with young lord to first take a look in evil Smiting Hall. After 3 days, regardless of whether or not we succeeded, we will exit. Young lord, will this do? Wu Xinjie asked carefully. Star generals obtaining star beasts still would have to weigh the good and bad of the star duels. If she could, Wu Xinjie still wanted to resolve this as soon as she could. Xinjie, I also know the severity and pace of things. Su Xing smiled. Wu Xinjie stuck out her tongue, somewhat apologetic. Then, Su Xing and Wu Xinjie took out the evil smiting writ. An instant later, the two disappeared from the void immortal's abode. The scene all around was light and darkness, dark and bright, alternating with each other. Instantly, the two appeared on the grounds of verdant hills and limpid water, not as misty as the Fairyland Spirit platform, and neither was it as majestic and spectacular. Far away, there were countless rising and falling hills, ordinary and mediocre. The place the ranked third knowledge star wanted to capture her star beast was even more nondescript than Su Xing had imagined. Just as Su Xing wanted to talk to Wu Xinjie about the matters of her star beast, all of a sudden, there was a fragrance pouncing right into his face. A nephrite and warm body pushed Su Xing onto the grass. Finally, it is Xinjie's turn to spend alone time with young lord. Wu Xinjie straddled Su Xing's body, smiling attractively. The knowledge star lowered her body and kissed Su Xing. Their tongues intertwined for a long while. Su Xing's hands wandered over the girl's body, engaging in dubious activity like this for some time. Su Xing certainly did not forget the important thing, and he smiled, all right, let's go find your star beast first. Xinjie is fine as long as she has young lord. Star beasts are all floating clouds. Wu Xinjie licked her lips, and her expression hung a lewd smile. Su Xing began to sweat when he heard that. Young lord, are you hiding something from Xinjie? Wu Xinjie ambiguously winked. What could I ever hide from you? Su Xing smiled. Young lord, do you still remember the matter when we originally found the noble star little whirlwind Chai Ling? Wu Xinjie's charming eyes were like silk. Su Xing nodded. Wu Xinjie's tone was increasingly lovely. Chai Ling has spoken about the affairs of that day. Young lord is so cruel for hiding it from Xinjie. The affairs of that day? Su Xing for a time was unable to react. Wu Xinjie feigned coquettish anger. Young lord, the yin-yang love-making powder. Ah. Su Xing was mute. Young lord, it would better for us to use it. Maybe it can help young lord blossom that meditative mind lotus. Wu Xinjie chuckled, her cheeks slightly red, her eyes craftily roaming. This is a bit too bad. Su Xing somewhat awkwardly laughed. Why is it too bad? Wu Xinjie was confused. Because, that, Su Xing fake coughed several times, his expression full of, you understand. Wu Xinjie's mouth hung open, tongue-tied. She lifelessly asked, could it be that young lord truly used it with Yingmei first? Su Xing nodded. Although Lin Yingmei did not want other people to know about this matter, paper could not smother fire. Hiding this any longer was not too possible. How could this be? Wu Xinjie was somewhat dejected, somewhat complex. She originally had even wanted to be the early bird that caught the worm. Little did she know, a wise person that reflected 100 times could still make a mistake. How could she not have thought that the ordinarily most reserved Lin Yingmei would be this bold? Wu Xinjie's thoughts rapidly turned. Lin Yingmei being called the first wife was not for nothing. In normal times, her relationship with young lord was also the best. This was only logical. Wu Xinjie gloomily sighed. All right, don't be dejected. Finding your star beast first is more urgent. Su Xing kneaded her face, consoling her. Only then did Wu Xinjie have no choice but to get up off of Su Xing's body, her mouth still grumbling about going to seek out Chai Ling for another bottle. Su Xing could not help but laugh. Young lord, then can you tell Xinjie about the thing between you and little sister Yingmei? Xinjie truly somewhat cannot imagine it. Wu Xinjie smiled. Along the road, Su Xing summarized the encounter he and Lin Yingmei had in Evil Smiting Hall. Finding out about the whole story, Wu Xinjie could only sob that everything was destined. Originally, when she knew that Su Xing had the yin-yang lovemaking powder, she was even secretly delighted, thinking that Lin Yingmei would not be a problem at all. Little sister Yingmei honestly is worthy of being called young lord's first wife. Without the yin-yang lovemaking powder, Wu Xinjie did not think of this sort of thing any further. The top priority was still to first go find her star beast. The knowledge star's star beasts were considerably interesting. In actuality, during the previous 8th generation star duels, the knowledge star's captured star beast always was the phoenix feather unicorn horn. There naturally was a reason connected to the one who was ranked 3rd. The star beasts of the single-digit heavenly stars were always very difficult to capture, regardless of whether it was the extreme ice environment of Lin Yingmei's snow-walking frost-eye beast or Gong Sunhuang's clear skies storm dragon. Capturing them would require maximum favorable circumstances. Furthermore, the ranked 3rd knowledge star also was so. Although she was not a martial force star general and was without the slightest bit of magic, the knowledge star's star beast completely did not lose out to any of the sisters. However, this time, Wu Xinjie actually completed ample preparations. Beforehand, she had investigated all of the materials of her own star beasts. The same evening they arrived in Evil Smiting Hall. Wu Xinjie raised her head to survey the stars. Although the knowledge star was not too good at laying down magic circles, as for the sun, moon, and stars, the knowledge star possessed certainly clear understanding. Thus, she used the stars to plan. On the second day, Wu Xinjie found the star beast. In the mountain forest, there was a white shadow moving back and forth, leaving afterimages in succession. Su Xing and Wu Xinjie urged the flying sword hastily in pursuit. The white shadow's speed was extremely quick. It was wrapped in a fog, its shape practically obscured, but it occasionally spat out a white foxfire that glared into their eyes. The white foxfire soared, transforming into a vortex, rumbling as it approached to strike them. Rengui was called forth, emitting a clear sound. The foxfire and flying swords entangled each other, immediately rolling out a white pillar of fire. A fox cry poured into their ears. That white light all of a sudden let out several fox shadows that pounced right towards them. Su Xing struck a hand seal, and a clear hand of purple chi directly grabbed it. The white fox shadows let out several howls. Immediately, the specters were ripped apart. And at this time, the white light escaped, already running down the mountain. Is this one of your star beasts, Xinjie? Su Xing let out a breath. The white shadow demon fox. This is one of the few star beasts Xinjie knows. It is the easiest to capture. Wu Xinjie forced a smile. The data on the star beasts the previous knowledge stars capture honestly was too lacking. The reason was that knowledge was impermanent, and the star beasts were also elusive. The several 2 or 3 star beasts that were captured were all ordinary. The best was this white shadow demon fox, which was also one of the most rarely seen for the knowledge star. But they did not expect that the white shadow demon fox considered the most ordinary would be such a wily fox. Careful, young lord, this white shadow demon fox is somewhat not too suitable. Wu Xinjie suddenly said gravely. Su Xing nodded, also noticing this white shadow demon fox was somewhat odd. Although it was being hunted down, it seemed to stop and attack from time to time, occasionally fleeing as if it was luring Su Xing into entering hell. Before he could think any more, suddenly, the surrounding scene immediately opened up, and a giant waterfall appeared in front of him. Just at this moment, an extremely powerful pressure came pressing down onto Su Xing and Wu Xinjie from the skies. This is bad, this place has a space-restricting forbid dance. Su Xing froze. Suddenly, Su Xing and Wu Xinjie fell into the waterfall. A formless power pressed Su Xing and Wu Xinjie downwards. In that instant, all of their star energy suddenly was seemingly sucked clean away, their bodies uncontrollably dropping down the waterfall. The sounds of water splashing was enormous. The 100 Zhang waterfall was just like a beast opening its bloody maw. In the blink of an eye, the two's figures were swallowed clean. That white shadow demon fox transformed into a white light that actually hung suspended in the air, unaffected. Its two fox eyes spun around, and then, it flashed out a white light, plunging into the water and immediately disappearing. Not long after, the water's surface suddenly broke apart. A youth suddenly burst out, taking in deep breaths. The nearly full of water Su Xing displayed a fish in the water adaptability and swam to the shore. Xinjie. After Su Xing climbed ashore, he did not see Wu Xinjie's figure. Immediately, he was somewhat panicked, promptly activating his divine intent to scan for her. His powerful divine sense enveloped a range of several hundred meters. He did not know whether Wu Xinjie had been washed downstream, for Su Xing could not detect any trace of Wu Xinjie in the vicinity. His heart inwardly worried, he thought of using wandering the clear skies, but he had hardly left several chi off the ground when the perimeter around him suddenly exerted pressure that made him incapable of advancing one bit. Su Xing made himself calm down. If he carefully thought, Wu Xinjie had a contract with him, and her star body was indestructible. As long as he himself was fine, she also would be unhurt. It was just that the sudden severance of his connection with her made Su Xing somewhat unable to soothe his worries. He called forth his unstoppable flying swords to devastate the forest in his search. Just when Su Xing was most urgently seeking for Wu Xinjie's whereabouts, suddenly, there was a shrill scream that tore apart the air. In the calm evil Smiting hall, it was clear enough to be ear-piercing. Su Xing's heart thumped hard, for this was Wu Xinjie's voice. Not good. Su Xing immediately sensed danger, promptly chasing after the sound of that voice. The frightful screams of terror were increasingly close. A powerful imposing air currently rolled towards him. 24 flying swords transformed into the two colors of green and gold as they crisscrossed to form a sneak attack. Then, he heard a huala, and Su Xing broke through the forest, just happening to catch sight of a slim figure fleeing in his direction at lightning speed. That girl was none other than knowledge star resourceful star Wu Xinjie, and behind her were the shadows of 3 blood demons currently in high-speed pursuit, occasionally spitting out sword-like bloodlight. Impressively, these were blood-colored demon foxes known as Blood Demon. Master. 2. Wu Xinjie cried out in pleasant surprise the moment she spotted Su Xing. The 3 blood demons' bodies suddenly warped. They bared their fangs, throwing out a stifling bloody and burning swordlight directly at them. These blood demons at best were not worth capturing. Su Xing actually did not fear these guys, but because he took Wu Xinjie into consideration, he had no choice but to hold back his movements. First, he sought out 12 flying swords to protect Wu Xinjie, and then the other 12 Lengia knocked into the bloodlights. The blood demons made fox cries, urging the blood-colored swordlights to pounce. These blood demon foxes were very cunning. They knew that a star cultivator's greatest weakness was close quarters. Therefore, they prepared for close combat, but they greatly underestimated Su Xing's close quarters capabilities. A lightning flash-like palm waved. It slammed into the frontmost blood demon. This blood demon howled in anguish, its bloodlights suddenly shattered, and it seemingly fell to pieces. Apparently, it sustained a significant injury. The blood demon indignantly opened its mouth. Bloodwind like blades wrapped around the two people. Su Xing's figure suddenly stopped. An enormous noise came from the ground underfoot. With a seemingly sudden explosion, a big crevasse opened up opposite of where Su Xing stared. His person already shot over like a cannonball, and while in midair, Su Xing's 10 fingers flicked. Countless purple cloud lightning and thunders brought a swift and severe whistle as they shot towards the other blood demons. This was the Earth Book's purple cloud sword transformation art. Several blood demons bared the blades of bloodlight, battling against the purple thunder. This was the so-called crush one by one. Seizing this opportunity, Su Xing aimed at a charging blood demon, crossing over a distance of several steps instantly. First of all, it was a heavy palm strike, and afterwards was a series of violent strikes. That blood demon let out a bloodlight that wrapped around him, but his fist's power unexpectedly came alive and tore apart the bloodlight. Immediately afterwards, Su Xing's wrist shook, and the divine sword of the 1,000-year contract flipped out. It stabbed towards the blood demon's chest. Just as he was about to run this blood demon through, a peculiar light appeared in Wu Xinjie's eyes. She called out, "Xinjie asks young lord to not hurt them." Su Xing's brows rose, and the sword light retracted. A purple lightning dragon capture seized this blood demon. When the remaining blood demons saw its comrade had been captured, they let out strange fox howls. The blood demon's figures transformed 1,000 times bigger, covering the skies and earth. Their imposing aura could be said to be more than terrifying, and the valley surged wildly. Su Xing formed a hand seal. The flying swords whirled, blossoming. The air raged with the crisp sound of a bell, just like the surface of water had been parted. His vigorous silhouette was just like a fluttering bird in between those blood demons. He brazenly charged forth, his speed swift, practically pulling himself into a thin black line. Just at this moment, Purple Mansion immortal thunder exploded to form a ripple. Just as it was rippling, in the completely empty air, these frightful ripples mixed in a concentrated electric current that made their hearts palpitate, the might abnormally powerful. In only an instant, the surroundings were enveloped within. The blood demon fox shadows filling the sky successively were broken, and among them, one blood demon angrily screeched. Its mouth opened. Its maroon shadow shook several times, and a pitch-black shining enormous lance already appeared and launched out of its mouth. These blood demon foxes indeed were pretty good, managing the quickest reactions. A killer move was immediately sent up. If it was anyone else, perhaps they would be caught unprepared. But Su Xing already was ready. Suddenly, with a thunder-like cry, the dark blood the blood demon spat became a lance, already transforming into pitch-black lightning, wildly pouncing at Su Xing. The world was suddenly crammed full of an ear-shattering scream. The surrounding airflow instantly was affected by this immense change. Simultaneously rushing towards Su Xing, looking from far away, this bloodlight was just like a long fox shadow. The 12 heaven tearings shook out with a rumbling dragon cry, smalling together against the bloody fox shadow. Heaven tearing twisted. The light of the blood fox was promptly shattered. Go! And just at this moment, Su Xing struck a hand seal. The other 12 Langya's glistening green light immediately exterminated the other blood demons. A moment later, Su Xing and the blood demons fought several dozen bouts. The final blood demon howled in grief, transforming into a bloodlight to escape. Su Xing also did not feel like chasing it. First of all, he anxiously went to see whether or not Wu Xinjie was all right. In the face of Su Xing's worry, Wu Xinjie very rarely did not tease, but she stared blankly, saying in astonishment, "Young lord, could it be you have forgotten? We are indestructible. There is no need for young lord to worry about Xinjie so much. Even the slightest scratch will make this young lord very hurt. How can I not be worried?" Su Xing shook his head. Wu Xinjie opened her mouth and was tongue-tied. Su Xing smiled, "You being this shocked makes me feel very hurt, ha, ha." Wu Xinjie also smiled. Watching Su Xing so carefully help inspect her, that penetrating expression lost its ambiguity and gained some complexity. A moment later, everything was fine. Only then did Su Xing calm down. He looked around at the surrounding scene, muttering to himself, "This place is honestly weird, to even have a forbid dance." It seems that the knowledge star is somewhat thorny, as expected. When the currently staring blankly knowledge star heard Su Xing's words, her eyes rolled, showing a crazy charm. "Young lord, it would be better to give up on the star beast." Xinjie also is not very concerned. "I know you are worried about my meditative mind lotus flower, however, do not say anything more about giving up. Let's go find that white shadow demon fox first." Su Xing thoughtfully said, "Ha, ha, unexpectedly using a trap, I'm actually somewhat interested in that white shadow demon fox." Wu Xinjie said sweetly. At this time, who knew where the white shadow demon fox had escaped to? Relying on its crafty intellect, Su Xing also did not truly hope to be able to find it. His heart was somewhat regretful, yet at the same time, he could only direct his hope to searching for other star beasts. The knowledge star's star beasts were all cunning, regardless of whether it was the white shadow demon fox or the blood demons. Although in a direct confrontation they completely were incapable of handling Su Xing's flying swords and powers, but their dangerous plans made Su Xing helpless. After walking for half a day, Wu Xinjie grew tired. When they passed by a clean lake, Wu Xinjie suddenly mentioned that she wanted to bathe. Su Xing did not have any objections, and he took charge of helping stand guard for her. The rustling sound of clothes falling came from that side. Su Xing then concentrated his attention to be alert about his surroundings, also seeing whether or not he could find the tracks of the knowledge star's star beast at the same time. "Young lord, will you not bathe together with Xinjie?" Wu Xinjie's charming voice came over. "I actually want to, however, it's better to talk about that later. I certainly can't hold back." Su Xing chuckled. "Young lord speaks so directly." Wu Xinjie giggled. The two chatted for a while when, all of a sudden at this time, Wu Xinjie let out a startled screech. Su Xing froze. Without any hesitation at all, he rushed over, only to see knowledge star Wu Xinjie currently smiling seductively as she looked at him, water trailing down her absolutely naked body, a glimpse of something intimate, her skin snow-white enough to be somewhat glaring. Before, he had no shortage of doing ambiguous things with Wu Xinjie, but this look still made Su Xing's blood vessels swell, his yang fire ignite. Although the two had done many brazen things and even nearly took things too far, the secrets of her body long seen, the Wu Xinjie in front of him still was full of an unimaginable charm. Seeing that expression so alluring, her vermilion lips and twin peaks, her enchanting secret place, her fine black hair moistened with dew, every frown and smile was extremely lovely. 3. This still was the first time Su Xing had ever seen Wu Xinjie in such an alluring pose. "Young lord, Xinjie just spotted a demon fox just now." Wu Xinjie pounced into Su Xing's embrace, yet her hand very dishonestly wandered downwards. Su Xing muttered, embracing Wu Xinjie with one hand. His divine intent swept, not finding a single trace of the demon fox's figure anywhere. "You must be punished for deceiving your young lord." Su Xing twitched his lips. 3. Oh. Your servant has no one to rely on and can only allow young lord to punish her. Wu Xinjie's expression was seductive, her tone like silk. Su Xing quivered. How could he endure Wu Xinjie being like this? Then moving his hand, out flew 24 flying swords that revolved in the surrounding several dozen meters, forming a light barrier that blocked off outside gazes. With that sweet and graceful body in his embrace, her warm fragrance lingering, he lowered his head, and this kiss actually made Wu Xinjie briefly somewhat stiff. However, at this moment, Su Xing did not care about this detail. Very quickly, their tongues hooked around each other, exchanging saliva, engaging themselves in a deep kiss. A moment afterwards, Wu Xinjie already panted heavily, her lovely eyes blurry. "Young lord, that place of yours is so naughty." 3. Wu Xinjie softly pressed against Su Xing. Su Xing sucked on that impressive redness, and his hands did not hold back in kneading that girl's sensitive place. "Xinjie, you truly are very frightening." Su Xing muttered, somewhat unable to hold back. "Make love like fishes in water, your cheeks and lips are dyed with my scent for life." Wu Xinjie lowered her head and sweetly smiled, an odd craftiness flashing across her eyes. When Su Xing heard these words, his lust immediately vanished for the most part. Although his relationship with Wu Xinjie could break through to the final step at any time, at this moment, the star beast was right in front of them. What was more important was that since there was obviously a sacred medicine like the yin-yang lovemaking powder, continuing to do this sort of disadvantageous thing was very unwise. "Young lord." Wu Xinjie sensed something amiss with Su Xing, and she showed surprise. "It's best we don't waste time. Let's go find your star beast," Su Xing said. He waved his hand, and a green light wrapped around them. Could it be that young lord does not want Xinjie? Wu Xinjie was perplexed. Su Xing sensed that Wu Xinjie was somewhat off. Today's Wu Xinjie appeared especially charming. Perhaps her loveliness already could not describe her, and seductive would be somewhat more appropriate. Su Xing somewhat burned with desire. Thinking that perhaps it was because of Lin Yingmei and the yin-yang lovemaking powder, Su Xing did not think about it too much. Putting on her clothes, Wu Xinjie stared at Su Xing, her expression brimming with confusion. Su Xing felt that Wu Xinjie's expression was very odd. He smiled. What's the matter? Why does young lord not want Xinjie? Is Xinjie not stirring enough? Wu Xinjie said. What are you thinking? Let's go find your star beast first. The little whirlwind is still waiting. Su Xing smiled. Wu Xinjie was pensive. Young lord, Xinjie knows where there is still another of your servant's star beasts, but it is very formidable. Does young lord wish to go try it? Perfect. Su Xing nodded. To be able to have a readily available star beast, this indeed could not be better, so as to avoid squandering time going to search for it. Good. Wu Xinjie narrowed her eyes, oddly chuckling. A maiden like cold as ice and frost stood against the wind. Her pupils approached the coldness of snow. On her head was a three-pronged hat, a clump of timely snow at the top, on her body was steel plate armor, draped with 1,000 pinpricks of frost. Her white robes glowed with the light of the sun, the silver flowers she wore were close to the moon. In her hand swung a cold halberd of twisted silver, and her back was full of white clothes and white armor, making the girl's curves extremely highlighted. Her appearance was cold enough to break ice, but she nevertheless was exceptionally attractive. In front of the girl was a white jade treasure horse. It had blue eyes, skin like ice jade, cold hooves. This beast was known as the Winding Jade Ice Silver Beast, also a rare mount among the star beasts. The girl was expressionless. Her hand hefted the sky piercer, which splattered cold ice. The Winding Jade Ice Silver Beast stamped and whinnied, its 4 hooves like iron arms, bursting with 2 resplendent cold lights. The ice-cold lights instantly drew near, but in that split second when they approached, the girl's figure already disappeared. Just like ice and snow passing by a mirror, a cold wind at this time already stuck into the Winding Jade Ice Silver Beast's side. That crystalline sky piercer carved out a cold light that rapidly closed in. Winding Jade Ice Silver Beast was a star beast that could be captured by both heavenly stars or earthly stars. Just this point was something normal star beasts absolutely could not compare to. Under the cold light, the Winding Jade's body released countless petal-like cold lights in layers. Its silhouette was like a phantom. In no more than an instant, it had already forced apart the young girl's attack. There was a neigh that was bone-chilling. The Winding Jade Ice Silver Beast's blue eyes flashed with a cold light, and instantly, it threw itself over directly in an assault that already arrived right in front of the maiden. The girl still hung a perhaps disdainful or apathetic expression. The sky piercer activated a halberd technique, and with a half-spin to dodge, she brilliantly evaded the Winding Jade treasure horse's charge. Afterwards, she seized the chance to go on the offensive. That sky piercer carved out an ice-cold arc, and space seemingly froze. The sky piercer emitted a star energy that concentrated into an astonishing yellow rank technique. But the girl's yellow rank technique could only shallowly penetrate half an inch in the Winding Jade Ice Silver Beast's surroundings, unable to enter further. A sort of grinding cold light firmly grabbed hold of the girl's weapon, making it unable to proceed further. That cold chi around the Winding Jade Ice Silver Beast's whole body was like its strongest ability. Cold light permeated its body, shooting in all directions at the same time, covering everything. In the air around the Winding Jade Ice Silver Beast, the naked eye could see layers of fractures. The girl evidently knew the might of this sort of ability. Without any delay, she stepped back, her figure already withdrawing far away. Under that sort of power, stopping any further just now would have brought great danger. In that instant she avoided its attack, the Winding Jade Ice Silver Beast's hooves dashed in a rush towards her. The cold light its body rolled seemed to transform into claws and fangs that were brandished to seize the girl, carving out a violently cold wind in the earth. Those cold winds bit at the girl's flesh, bone, and body. The girl swung the sky piercer, executing every sort of halberd technique. The sky piercer twisted with cold wind and the winding jade ice silver beast's abilities in a confrontation. The ice-cold attacks of both sides soundlessly traded blows, fought and tore at each other. The young girl's ice-cold blue pupils finally showed slight battle intent. She coldly shouted. Along with her voice, the girl kicked with her leg, and her body was just like a phoenix spreading its wings. Space immediately broke apart, and at the same time, with the winding jade ice silver beast as the center, a mournful ice and snow suddenly appeared. The environment became an ice-cold hurricane. The sky piercer shook. The girl's figure swayed. Incorporeal ice and snow fragments immediately rose sharply, becoming a terrifying twisting storm that flew lightning quick at the winding jade ice silver beast. An ear-piercing whistling noise immediately became the only sound that existed in the air. The winding jade ice silver beast curled into a ball. The girl's figure instantly arrived, and raising the polearm in her hand, the sky piercer's ice light penetrating, a chill mixed with the girl into one, enough to raise terror in the heart of any living thing. A sharp light tore open the air. That glittering cold light practically made any person unable to take their eyes off her. A cold light appeared in the air, and this cold light scattered, becoming countless fragments that all attacked the winding jade ice silver beast. There was no chance for gaps or leeway at all. This blinding light seemingly froze time with only the girl moving about. Her speed was fast beyond the human eye, pouring light and shadow in torrents onto the world instantly and shattering, twinkling with a blurry tinge. This was the girl's dark rank technique. 1,000 years cold nights left long. 2. Ding. 3. A crisp sound. Woman and beast interlocked, and the ice-cold to ruthlessness winding jade ice silver beast and the ice-cold to the realm girl violently slammed into each other. The ice and snow on the winding jade ice silver beast's body blew apart, as if they had become countless specters. Bang! There was a severe jolt, and a figure flew out of the starlight. Astonishingly, it was the girl. A trail of blood flowed from her mouth. The girl's dark rank technique was unexpectedly broken, but she did not show the slightest expression. Still, she was cold and a bit non-committal. Immediately afterwards, she was cold all over. The power of the winding jade ice silver beast's whole body exploded, and its hooves heavily pressed onwards. This trampling perhaps would gravely injure her if it did not kill her. And at this time, because the young girl used her dark rank technique, she already was unable to dodge. Under this heavy assault, suddenly, a silhouette flashed in front of the girl. That speed honestly was like a steed passing by, a fleeting flash. The winding jade ice beast stepped on nothing. It indignantly whinnied. A melodious instrumental voice suddenly sounded out, like countless heavenly women drawing. A wyvern's shadow spun around the winding jade ice silver beast, and that sound was like decadent music, sublime. Even the winding jade ice silver beast began to become dizzy. The cold light then dwindled. Is elder sister all right? The maiden in skin-tight white armor at this time finally showed surprise. The moment she saw the person who saved her, she nodded. The person who saved her was the living goddess of lightning Wang Dinglu. The current Wing Dingliu's shoulder had ferret crawling on it, exceptionally dazzling. The two's gazes returned to the winding jade ice silver beast that had been trapped by the music. Elder sister Shui can go capture it right now. Wang Jingji smiled and said. The girl called Shui said nothing. Once again, she raised the sky piercer. When the sky piercer's cold light twisted, the winding jade ice silver beast seemed to awaken, but being attacked by the girl's techniques and being confused a great deal by this odd music, the current winding jade ice silver beast was at the end of its rope. The young woman attacked. The winding jade ice silver beast very quickly was defeated and was captured by the girl. Wang Jingji exclaimed, this winding jade ice silver beast was a star beast not many martial force star generals could obtain. Even a few heavenly stars would be green with envy. She never thought that the earthly star elder sister in front of her could obtain it. Congratulating her, Wang Jingji walked over. The young woman was still expressionless like before. At this time, from far away walked over a picturesque and beautiful woman. She had blue and white clothing, a stunning elegance, and an indescribable relaxed feel. She was Qingxi. Spotting Qingxi, the girl did not feel surprised. On the contrary, she nodded her head in respect and acknowledgement. Congratulations, Shuer, to unexpectedly be able to capture this winding jade ice silver treasure horse. Qingxi fully smiled. Shuer was silent, but her eyes were written with gratitude. Elder sister has obtained this beast, and there just happens to be an opportunity to go test it out. Wang Jingji teased the ferret on her shoulder, smiling. Shuer's eyes had some confusion. It's like this. Elder sister Qingxi already knows the position of the knowledge star resourceful star. She wishes to take this opportunity to discuss something with her. She wants to have elder sister Shuai go together to persuade the knowledge star. Qingxi slightly smiled. Shuai nodded. The sky piercer in her hand vanished, not questioning in the slightest. Aha, right, there is still something else we have to inform elder sister Shuai. Elder sister aids star little Marquis of Wen Lu Fang has been forced out of evil Smiting Hall. Elder sister certainly must be wary. Wang Jingji said. Is she all right? Shuai for the first time spoke. No great difficulties. Only then did Shuai nod her head in relief. Now that evil Smiting Hall's dangers are serious, elder sister Longkue has already gone to capture her star beast. Jingji is also about to leave. Elder sister Shuai, elder sister Qingxi, you must be careful. Wang Jingji demanded. Your servant gives many thanks for your concern. Qingxi faintly smiled. Shuai straddled the winding jade ice silver treasure horse, extended her hand in invitation, and Qingxi helped herself get on the horse. The winding jade ice silver treasure horse whinnied, splashed ice and snow, and then soared into the sky, flying off somewhere. At this time, Su Xing did not know that the knowledge star had been targeted by Qingxi. On the contrary, he felt the Wu Xinjie in front of him was somewhat odd. Although the Wu Xinjie before him was still familiar, he always felt something was not quite right, but he could not say what. Along the way to finding her star beast, Wu Xinjie always covertly enticed him, as if she was not willing to let herself remain virgin. This made Su Xing feel very odd because although the Wu Xinjie in his impressions was indeed fond of being sensual, she would take the big picture into consideration. She knew what times were suitable for doing things. Now, they were searching for a star beast and fighting for the very last second of time. In particular, the importance of being a complete star general did not need to be told to a star general. At this time, even though she always wanted to break through the final paper-thin barrier, the gains did not make up for the losses. Wu Xinjie would not do something like this. Could it be because she was envious of what happened with Lin Yingmei? Su Xing was unable to help smiling. Young lord, what are you smiling about? Wu Xinjie blinked, curiously asked. When we get out, I'll ask Suan whether or not she can concoct the yin-yang lovemaking powder. At that time, young lord will absolutely and properly get intimate with you. Su Xing chuckled. Wu Xinjie's face reddened, and her eyes were like a spring pool, lovely and touching yet somewhat unfathomable. Where's the star beast? Su Xing looked at the continuous mountains and valleys of the target area Wu Xinjie brought him to and felt confused. Let alone a star beast, not a single bird was visible. Young lord, first close your eyes. Wu Xinjie winked, smiling. What star beast, is it so incredible? Su Xing was quiet. Wu Xinjie smiled but did not reply. She turned and gently covered his eyes. By the time Wu Xinjie let go, the scene Su Xing saw had not changed at all. Just as he felt this was strange, suddenly, Su Xing noticed a faraway gorge apparently moved. Indeed, it moved. Su Xing stared at it. That ravine astonishingly was a huge beast creeping about. What is that? The heavenly mystery beast. Wu Xinjie answered. Ah. Su Xing was startled when he heard this name. Heavenly mystery beast, this name was not only odd, it was also somewhat domineering. This is the knowledge star's strongest star beast. That it could swallow the heavens and devour the earth, did it get the name? Does young lord dare go capture it? Wu Xinjie slightly smiled. Her smile had a sort of strange meaning. Seeing that demon beast was an enormous warning. Its whole body was spread full of forests, and Su Xing honestly somewhat did not dare to believe that Liangshan continent unexpectedly had such a terrifying monster in existence, but if he actually captured it, that indeed would be a great helping hand. He believed the entire Liangshan would be shocked, but this guy was rather a bit too big. When Su Xing looked at it, he felt his teeth hurt. The white shadow demon fox was cuter some. Young lord, if we give up, there is no way. There was never anyone who dared provoke this kind of star beast. Wu Xinjie smiled, not disappointed. Su Xing profoundly glanced at her, his mouth hooking with a smile. Testing it out doesn't count as wasting time. His hand beckoned, and the 24 flying swords immediately flew out. Then, young lord, be careful. If you actually can capture the heavenly mystery beast, Xinjie will devote her life to young lord. Wu Xinjie said charmingly. Su Xing's smile was very ruminating. Silent. The riding sword soared into the sky and flew towards the heavenly mystery beast. Rather than say this heavenly mystery beast was a type of star beast, it was actually more appropriate to say it was a giant mountain. Its whole body was full of verdant and lush forests. If it was not for the seemingly earth-shaking breathing that was as if it was eating, Su Xing was incapable of believing this was a star beast. That's odd, how come Xinjie didn't mention the knowledge star had this sort of star beast before? Su Xing was inwardly puzzled. At this time, he could not think any further, for the heavenly mystery beast sensed an approaching enemy intent. With an enormous rumble, that forest on the heavenly mystery beast's entire body all of a sudden emitted a green light. This giant green light enveloped him, and Su Xing called for the flying swords to protect him. At the same time, his 10 fingers flicked, true star purple chi and purple mansion immortal thunder booming down. The green light was ripped apart by a trail of purple. The two abilities exploded upon the forest on the heavenly mystery beast's body, but the result seemingly was tickling it. With regards to the heavenly mystery beast, this tiny injury basically was negligible. Su Xing thought to himself that it was quite thorny. Heaven tearing and Lengia became golden and green gales that blew violently forth. Sword light linked together, becoming just like heaven overflowing waves that slapped against the heavenly mystery beast's gigantic body. Even the heavenly mystery beast felt the pain. The forest jolted. The heavenly mystery beast stood up with a rumble. Clearly, it had been enraged, and with a howl, the trees on its body uprooted. Soaring from the surface upwards, they became tens of thousands of sword lights that rushed into the sky and suddenly stopped. Along with the heavenly mystery beast's shriek, this terrifying star beast seemingly read some incantation, and the countless sword lights in the sky transformed back and forth, forming a profound sword array. The wrinkles on Su Xing's forehead grew even deeper. His flying swords protected his body, then suddenly attacked the heavenly mystery beast. Wu Xinjie's eyes narrowed. Her smile was still charming, but this charm had a slight profound meaning. Young lord is honestly interesting. Seeing this sort of star beast, yet you dare go test it. Inside Wu Xinjie's beautiful pupils, Su Xing's figure currently flew around the heavenly mystery beast's surroundings. The 24 flying swords twisted into a hurricane, but as far as the tremendous heavenly mystery beast was concerned, the attacks Su Xing had were insignificant and could only raise its ire. It seems I need to help master. Following Su Xing's attacks becoming increasingly sluggish and slow, an odd light flashed in Wu Xinjie's eyes, and her figure flashed. This heavenly mystery beast was too strange. Su Xing's hands clapped together. The heaven-tearing flying swords transformed into a golden storm dragon that swam around his body, breaking the heavenly mystery beast's green sword light. The golden dragon image at the same time descended from the 9 firmaments, like an upside-down galaxy. The golden light practically annihilated the heavenly mystery beasts outside, but it nevertheless could not bring about any real harm. Su Xing sensed that something was very fishy. Once again, Su Xing hung in the air, put his hands together, and a giant hand of settled purple qi grabbed at it. The purple mansion immortal thunder linked into a net, densely packed and protecting in the surroundings. Su Xing did not rush into an attack again. Having confronted it for an hour, the feeling the heavenly mystery beast gave Su Xing honestly was too odd. This sort of unable to demonstrate his power no matter how much he struck, it was like the feeling of striking cotton, honestly too unreal. Heavenly mystery beast Su Xing's eyes narrowed. Just at this moment, from far away suddenly came a scream. Turning his head to look, he saw the heavenly mystery beast open its mouth, extend a green vine that rolled up Wu Xinjie, and deliver her towards its stomach. "Young lord, save me!" Wu Xinjie shouted in panic. Su Xing's expression changed, his eyes showing a rare fury. The flying swords whooshed over, and he promptly chased with an escape technique. Wu Xinjie also struggled with everything she could, her star energy continuously protecting herself. The heavenly mystery beast gave a heaven-shaking roar, and a powerful suction force suddenly sucked Wu Xinjie into its stomach. Just as the heavenly mystery beast's mouth closed, a black shadow flit by and charged in at the same time. The flying swords wrapped around Su Xing's fury and rampaged in a broiling prairie fire inside the heavenly mystery beast's mouth, endlessly burning the heavenly mystery beast's insides. The inside of the heavenly mystery beast's mouth had countless hurricanes and sword lights, but Su Xing's current fury simply was exceptionally powerful. Along the way, like a hot knife through butter, the heavenly mystery beast used its everything but was unable to block. The little demon beasts that dwelled inside its mouth were burned to ash one after another. Su Xing chased downwards without so much as looking. Not a moment later, a black lake appeared in front of Su Xing. Seeing this lake, Su Xing's expression was increasingly ice-cold. The black lake water boiled and emitted frightful bubbles. Wu Xinjie had been rolled into the deepest parts of the black lake, the distance to Su Xing a minimum of several hundred meters. The knowledge star's body slowly sank, and being devoured bit by the black lake, it was painful to watch. Xinjie. Su Xing's flying swords together immediately were suppressed, and he immediately used wandering the clear skies yet was still powerless. This black lake was odd beyond compare, its surroundings unexpectedly containing a space restricting forbid dance. Young lord, quickly flee. Xinjie has implicated young lord. Wu Xinjie miserably smiled, dejectedly speaking. A sort of indescribable strictness appeared in Su Xing's eyes. Looking at the black water, he suddenly stepped into the black lake. This movement made Wu Xinjie greatly shocked. Young lord, what are you doing? Entering the black lake, the black water immediately bubbled up like 10 million ants that incessantly swallowed Su Xing's body. Even if Su Xing did not use star energy to protect himself, he still sunk into the black lake, walking step by step towards Wu Xinjie. This is soul-transforming water, too, young lord, you will die. Wu Xinjie shouted in worry. Su Xing was unconcerned, not hesitating at all with each step. The black water very quickly rose past Su Xing's stomach. At this time, Wu Xinjie's body sunk down to her shoulders, but the girl's expression did not have fear, only astonishment. In her eyes was only the figure of Su Xing walking over, as if he had been locked onto. When the black water was nearly up to Wu Xinjie's lips, Su Xing at this time grabbed her. Young lord, you truly are too stupid. There was completely no need for you to save Xinjie. Wu Xinjie suddenly heaved a long sigh, as if she was very disappointed in Su Xing's conduct. Su Xing sneered. You ought to put away small tricks like this. Just who are you? Wu Xinjie froze, and her pupils once again widened because of her surprise. Young lord, what are you saying? You probably don't know that I've practiced the heart-like mirror absolute sincerity soul technique. Su Xing sneered, both his hands tightly seizing Wu Xinjie's white wrist. The black water slowly engulfed them, reaching their shoulders. The man and woman standing in the black lake gazed at each other, their pupils each the reflection of the other. Hearing Su Xing's words, Wu Xinjie still smiled. Of course Xinjie knows, but young lord's actions truly make Xinjie very disappointed. Su Xing shook his head. The black water very quickly submerged the two. But this so-called soul-transforming water seemed to be not that terrifying. Under the water's surface, it was incapable of engulfing their sight. And who knows how long after. Su Xing's eyes were dazzled, and suddenly, the surrounding black water dissipated like fog. The skies cleared up, the earth restored its color, and the mountains and rivers were green once more. How was there ever the scene of danger just a moment before? That previously terrifying heavenly mystery beast also became a true mountain, not fierce-looking in the slightest. When did young lord notice? Wu Xinjie's lovely smile floated over from several dozen meters away. The girl walked out of the fog, her figure wonderful, charming to look at. Xinjie definitely would not do something as brainless as what you did. Su Xing coldly said, just who are you? Where is Wu Xinjie? Why have you passed yourself off as her? Heaven-tearing dragon cried, showing off its power. Wu Xinjie faintly glanced, her smile alluring to all things. The knowledge star is slave, 3, and slave is the knowledge star. Young lord, just now, you placed yourself in danger to go save Xinjie. This has made Xinjie very moved. Would it be better to allow Xinjie to once again repay you with her body? Wu Xinjie smiled. Su Xing had never met with such an eccentric situation. If it was not for him not understanding just what the state of the Wu Xinjie in front of him was, Su Xing would have already acted. He marched, and Su Xing's 5 fingers became a claw that grabbed at her. Wu Xinjie giggled, transforming into mist. Su Xing was taken aback. The mist then once again condensed into Wu Xinjie's form. Just who are you? Su Xing was surprised. This is the 9-tailed spirit fox. Young Lord Su Xing, your servant asks that you be careful. Suddenly, a gentle and rich voice drifted over. Su Xing and Wu Xinjie simultaneously froze. In the air, from a winding jade treasure horse descended a graceful woman. Qingxi. Qingxi lightly smiled, faintly nodding at Su Xing. Her clear pupils then returned to Wu Xinjie. The knowledge star's legendary star beast, the 9-tailed spirit fox. Your servant trusts that you have been well since we last met. Qingxi softly said. The 9-tailed spirit fox. Su Xing's head was somewhat muddled. The 9-tailed spirit fox. You truly speak some nonsense. Young lord, this Qingxi wants to provoke the relationship between young lord and Xinjie. Wu Xinjie chuckled, but immediately she could no longer laugh. Qingxi's wrist flipped, and a golden treasure book appeared. If it was not for the birth treasure outline, your servant honestly would not have known that the 9-tailed spirit fox had appeared. Qingxi's white hand played with her hair, speaking with a downplayed tone. Wu Xinjie's expression sunk, and it was immediately filled with killing intent. Star position, knowledge star name, Wu Yong nickname, resourceful star true name, Wu Xinjie rank, 3rd star weapon, heaven concealing star feather fan, 1 star, star beast, realm, matchless 2nd stage innate skill, seeing clearly 5 elements, water yellow rank special move, think then act dark rank special move, speed is a crucial asset in war/wind from empty cave current status, possessed /9-tailed spirit fox detailed materials. Su Xing flipped out the birth treasure outline. Golden characters came into view, and seeing the row of information in front of him, he was somewhat taken aback. 9-tailed spirit fox. Possessed? When Qingxi saw Su Xing's birth treasure outline, her eyelids slightly rose. It appeared she was more surprised. Woman, you truly like to dampen one's spirits. The nine-tailed spirit fox possessing Wu Xinjie coldly grinned. Quickly come out of Xinjie's body. Su Xing said in a low voice, his flying sword's dragon roaring. Fully charged, Lengia and Heaven Tearing crisscrossed each other. So long as Su Xing's diving intent moved, they could attack. Young lord, slave is but the knowledge star's star beast. Just now was no more than a tiny little test given to young lord. There is no need for young lord to be angry. Wu Xinjie charmingly moved about, naturally so. However, you have made slave quite disappointed. That soul-transforming water-black lake just now was something young lord honestly should not have entered. Then don't blame me. Su Xing did not wish to waste his breath on talk. He did not want to see Wu Xinjie's possessed body be controlled by the nine-tailed spirit fox. He solely thought of a way to force this nine-tailed spirit fox out of her. A green rainbow appeared, and the 12 Lengia descended. Wu Xinjie giggled. She extended her right arm, her expression still lovely and moving. Then slave shall give young lord a final test. Wu Xinjie's pupils flashed with a cold light. Immediately, her arms burned with a raging white fire. Then, the earth split apart, sending out several dozen white blazes the size of pythons pouncing towards the group. The white flames were disastrous, reaching the skies and razing the earth. Young lord, please be careful. Qingci hurriedly retreated. Her long sleeve waves, shooting out a serene green light that enveloped her whole body. The nine-tailed spirit fox's white fire wound around the flying swords, a white and green light interlocked in battle. Su Xing took up Heaven Tearing, leaping upwards. Confronting the aggressive Su Xing, Wu Xinjie's smile was somewhat in disbelief. 9 white as frost and snow fox tails appeared on her body. Wu Xinjie's hands became claws, and the white flames became sky-ripping lights as she frightfully attacked Su Xing. These white flames were surprisingly powerful. Like arms in Wu Xinjie's hands, she used them to block Su Xing's attack. The white light dispersed. Wu Xinjie suddenly appeared at Su Xing's side, a sneer flashing across her lips. Young lord certainly wants to become enemies with slave. That will be a gain that does not make up for the losses. Her words had just fallen when 5 severe winds tore over, directly striking Su Xing's Heaven Tearing onto the verge of collapse. The strength of the nine-tailed spirit fox's powerful claw made Su Xing surprised. This practically was even stronger than some heavenly star martial generals. Courting death. Su Xing's expression was biting cold. He opened his mouth. Rock-piercing water droplets shot out of his mouth with a succession of bangs. The nine-tailed spirit fox's speed could be described as demonic. At such a close distance, she dodged Su Xing's rock-piercing water droplets. Not good. 10 fast beyond compare sharp weapons carved towards Su Xing's body. His divine intent moved, and the long already charged up 12 Heaven Tearings thundered with a dragon roar that destroyed these sneak attacks, but when they attacked Wu Xinjie, the nine-tailed spirit fox once again dodged. Her figure constantly changed and was fuzzy. After being possessed, as if relying on Wu Xinjie's matchless realm, the nine-tailed spirit fox was much more troublesome than he had imagined. Qingci at this time slightly nodded an indication at the young girl sitting on the winding jade treasure horse. The ice and snow girl sitting atop the winding jade treasure horse coldly yelled. She raised a crystalline sky piercer, spurring the winding jade treasure horse to charge forth. That sky piercer was an icy damask-like jade, its cold light penetrating. 3 stars twinkled around it, and Su Xing recognized that star weapon's name. Its name was White Clean Tears. 2. This was the 55th ranked help star comparable to Rengui Guosheng. 3. Comparable to Rengui Guosheng, have you also come to die? Seeing as how you have obtained a star beast, it is best that you obediently leave this place with your master. Wu Xinjie sneered. The White Clean Tears slashed out a startling chop. Emitting ice cold, the endless killing intent rolled towards Wu Xinjie. Comparable to Rengui Guoshue did not utter a sound. Her 2 pupils carried something that made people feel a pitiless cold. Under this slash, the girl did not hesitate, her keen pace changing speed and forcing the nine-tailed spirit fox to retreat back several dozen meters. Truly you make one feel annoyed. Wu Xinjie's pupils shrunk, and her killing intent once again swelled. One claw attacked, and the drifting white flames in the air dazzled, making Su Xing and the rest blinded for a moment. A claw directly grabbed the help star Guoshue's cranium. The girl's face was like water, the sky piercer swept up and down. Then, like splitting apart a tranquil lake, that instant gave rise to a swift and severe storm. Continuously smiling charmingly, Wu Xinjie's attacks combined with the strange white flames. Not a single weapon was worth a mention. Her 10 fingers became blades that, to Su Xing, were even more exaggerated than some star weapons. He did not know just what the background of this nine-tailed spirit fox was. Regardless, this possessed knowledge star honestly at this moment was superb to unbelievable combat levels, even somewhat defiant of the natural order. Su Xing wrinkled his brow. The sounds of weapon clashing resounded in the air. Comparable to Rengui Guosheng made Su Xing recall the aid star Lu Fang that similarly held a sky piercer named Vermilion-Colored Blood. Su Xing noticed that the two honestly were somewhat contrasting. Before, when Su Xing read the water margin, he knew that the aid star and the help star were Song Jiang's bodyguards, and they were considerably the cordial type. Let alone stowing their sky piercers, their martial force was that sort of category of looking strong when they were in reality weak. But Su Xing saw that the Guosheng before him holding the white clean tears was actually somewhat formidable. If the 8-star little Marquis of Wen Lu Fang he had encountered before was furious like fire, an abundance of ferocity but a deficiency of skill, then Su Xing had ways to handle her, but the help star comparable to Rengui Guosheng in front of him actually was cold like ice. Her battle technique was ice-cold to the extreme. The girl was extremely steady and calm, confronting the nine-tailed spirit fox's superb speed and bizarre attack methods without the least bit of confusion, dealing with them as if she was a fish in water. The more one could keep cool inside a battle, the more this sort of person was frightening. He completely could not be careless around this 55th ranked help star. Su Xing secretly glanced at the Qingzi to the side, somewhat unable to fathom this girl of picturesque charm. Comparable to Rengui Guosheng, you also dare to be impudent before this knowledge star. The Wu Xinjie of the nine-tailed fox gave a lovely smile. Under the attack of nine-tailed spirit fox's chained white flames, Guoshui did not manage to get too much leeway. The winding jade treasure horse had just spent much of its strength on recovery and was basically incapable of persevering. With hardly several bouts, it was then recalled by Guoshui. A body of white clothes and white armor was scratched with several dozen cuts. A faint wind rolled, and Wu Xinjie's hands beckoned, white flames soaring into the sky from every direction. Guoshui's figure swayed, and the ice-cold flowing over her body immediately glimpsed with ice and snow that promptly increased sharply. They washed away the white flames, transforming into a frightening lethal storm that twisted quickly towards Wu Xinjie. It was the matter of practically an instant. The girl's figure suddenly arrived, raised the spear in her hand, and the white clean tears light flashed. An eerie chill mixed with the girl to give rise to an oppressive intimidation. This sort of aggressive air was hard for those who were not star maidens to contend against. A penetrating light ripped apart the air. That glittering cold light practically made them unable to avert their gaze. A cold light appeared in the air, and this cold light dispersed into countless fragments that directly swept towards Wu Xinjie's forehead. Without any gaps at all. This was the girl's dark rank technique. 1,000 years cold nights left long. Wu Xinjie's whole body bathed inside the snow-white blaze. In that instant, the nine-tailed spirit fox's clothes of course became shreds of ash, the entire thing falling off with a shudder. Exposing graceful, completely naked curves. The white flames condensed into armor. This was just like an illusion. When the armor was run through, Wu Xinjie already disappeared from where she was like a phantom. Unexpectedly, she had dispelled comparable to Rengui's dark rank special move. The 9 fox tails wagged, and Wu Xinjie's face still maintained a fox's charm. Losing the cover of her clothes, the current knowledge star's whole body up and down emitted that sort of enticing feeling that made his blood vessels expand. Before Wu Xinjie could say anything, a golden light once again pounced. Wu Xinjie glanced. Her body was then encircled by a golden ring and unable to budge in the slightest for the sake of truly averting the nine-tailed spirit fox possessing Wu Xinjie and leaving evil Smiting Hall without a trace. Su Xing did not dare be careless. It was a pity he could not use magic weapons, and he could only activate the golden immortal linked life ring to find a chance to first trap the nine-tailed spirit fox. Go! Immediately afterwards, the 12 heaven tearing and the 12 Lengui revolved around, forming a double-layered sword array. The golden and green lights became a golden dragon and green bamboo. With a boom, like a flowing river, pouring down in torrents. Wu Xinjie raised her head, showing shock. In the blink of an eye, she was submerged in sword light. A white spirit flame became an auspicious cloud that protected Wu Xinjie, contending against Su Xing's flying swords. Young lord, you certainly are not tender enough. Wu Xinjie forced a smile. At the same time, Guo Shui called forth the winding jade ice silver treasure horse. Straddling it, she charged over. With a star beast's speed, this rush was several times more terrifying than normal, its powerful aggression a stretch that linked together. It was not the least bit inferior to Su Xing's 2 immemorial flying swords. It directly charged into the middle of the sword array. Without any hesitation, she raised the sky piercer and stabbed. Ah! Wu Xinjie's pupils shrunk. The white clean tears immediately penetrated her body, yet her figure suddenly disappeared without a trace. Bang! The winding jade ice silver treasure horse's hooves carried frost. It descended to the ground, raising an ice crystal. The ice and snow girl sitting upon it had an expression that was still indifferent. She glanced at Qingxi. Shuer, careful. Qingxi all of a sudden shouted. Something's not right. Su Xing at the same time said. Guo Shui froze. Suddenly, a pinprick of cold light appeared in the corner of her eye. The winding jade ice crystal treasure horse whinnied and was knocked onto the ground. Guo Shui's reactions were extremely quick, smoothly recalling her star beast, but she also lost the chance to fight back. A demonic claw suddenly appeared at her chest, penetrating through. Fresh blood dyed her snow white a shade of red. The girl's face was ashen. Wu Xinjie suddenly appeared. The girl smirked, and just as she was about to tear apart her heart, Qingxi already charged in shock, but she was already too late a step. Just at this moment, a bolt of purple thunder like a dragon shot over and sent the nine-tailed spirit fox flying, saving Guo Shui in the nick of time. Shuer, are you all right? Qingxi urgently held Guo Shui. Guo Shui's chest was stained red with blood. Fortunately, he had beaten back Wu Xinjie in the end, otherwise, her heart probably would have been directly crushed. The two women cast surprised and grateful gazes at Su Xing. Su Xing was silent, icily watching Wu Xinjie. The obviously should have been killed Wu Xinjie unexpectedly did not return to the star nest. Rather, she appeared once again, which was truly outrageous. Was that just now yet another of the illusions you created? Su Xing said in a low voice. The knowledge star truly has found a stupid star duelist. The nine-tailed spirit fox said. It felt it was unreasonable for Su Xing to surprisingly act to save comparable to Rengui. Even the nine-tailed spirit fox that had stayed inside of evil Smiting Hall for close to 1,000 years was incapable of believing that among the star cultivators that were originally supposed to be mandated to kill each other in evil Smiting Hall, there would unexpectedly be a star master that would save a future enemy. The others who also did not anticipate this were Qingxi and Guo Shui. The always ice-cold comparable to Rengui was even slightly surprised. However, how could they ever guess Su Xing's thoughts? Let alone the troublesome nine-tailed spirit fox in front of them, if he had the assistance of comparable to Rengui and Qingxi, clearly things would be even more easy-sum. Regardless of how it was put, it seemed for now that Qingxi and Guo Shui still did not have the intent to loot a burning house. Su Xing naturally was delighted to collaborate. Just how long do you plan to possess her? Su Xing sneered. Wu Xinjie's eyes rolled charmingly, as if she was thinking of something. Suddenly, she chuckled, "Young lord, how about we make a deal?" What? Su Xing's brow wrinkled. Beware her deceit, Qingxi said cautiously. Her words had just fallen when comparable to Rengui Guoshue's sky-piercer white clean tears already slashed. Wu Xinjie easily floated out of the way, dancing in the wind as if she had wings. Guoshue flashed with a chilly intent, and her pace changed. White clean tears horizontally swept. The nine-tailed spirit fox opened its mouth, still spitting out white fire to knock back comparable to Rengui. Her ice-cold breathing did not stop in the slightest. The help star still wanted to continue, but Su Xing blocked her attack from moving a step forward. His fluttering flying swords made Guoshue somewhat surprised, however, the help star made a rare stop. Do you want to make this a 3-on-1? Su Xing turned his head to coldly glare at the nine-tailed spirit fox. Now, what her charm brought out of Su Xing was only more anger. Must young lords stand on their side? Wu Xinjie asked back. Don't assume Xinjie's appearance, it's unpleasant. Su Xing said, displeased. The Wu Xinjie possessed by the nine-tailed spirit fox smiled gorgeously. She leisurely stepped towards her left. And from the behind the girl walked out another Wu Xinjie. That additional knowledge star shifted right, and as if she was cloning, her body split apart into 2 more Wu Xinjies. These 4 Wu Xinjies simultaneously took a step forward, and as if there was a magic trick, the 4 knowledge stars actually stood where they were originally, yet 4 new girls of the same figure stepped out. 8. This had not ended yet. The 8 identical Wu Xinjies simultaneously staggered, and in the middle walked out 1 more. With this, the 9-tailed spirit fox's 9 tails had unexpectedly become 9 knowledge star resourceful star Wu Yongs. If you wish to use many to fight one, then slave certainly is in her element. The 9 Wu Xinjies spoke at the same time, like mirror images, their smiles identically alluring. Their wrists flipped, and a moon-white gloomy flame became dangerous short sabers gripped in their 9 pairs of hands, a cold light fully present. What sort of illusion art was this? Su Xing, Qingxi, and Guoshue were all dumb as wooden chickens. Each and every one of the 9-tailed spirit fox's split-off 9 Wu Xinjies were vivid and lifelike. This honestly was extremely beyond reason. The purple star astral treasure dragon has 9 suns seal floated about Qingxi's body. Wu Xinjie laughed, seeing slave's 9 tails transform. Are you still unwilling to flee? Truly you are bold. Wu Xinjie abruptly split off several clones, and those phantoms were indistinguishable from the real thing, no differences unexpectedly visible. The corners of the mouths of each of the girls hung the same exact smile. The fox's tail, too, was exposed, yet there was not a single hint. The 9 knowledge stars launched attacks at the same time. Apparently, each one was a true existence. This illusion was somewhat formidable. The white flames in her hands moved like a snake, twisting like a gale. Countless fragments were blown out from under the legs of Su Xing and the other 2 girls. The white flames wildly swelled, imposing as a rainbow. The 3 did not dare be careless. The sword array revolved, whirling around Su Xing's body. Following his finger movements, he raised a golden trail towards one of the Wu Xinjies in an attack. The girl became a pile of sparks without any resistance whatsoever. Su Xing's fingers flicked, and he launched a purple mansion immortal thunder. Another Wu Xinjie immediately exploded into a pile of sparks. Guoshue clutched the white clean tears. The sky piercer swung in an arc, smashing a Wu Xinjie in the stomach. The help star's attack was far from being as gentle as Su Xing's slash. Her figure continued to charge forwards, and in an instant, a second Wu Xinjie was struck apart. These 2 9-tail clones clearly were not Wu Xinjie's true body. They shattered into flames at the same time and disappeared. Qingxi appeared the most awed. Without using a flying sword, or any such ability to speak of, the girl like a portrait stood, not saying a word, motionless. Although the nine-tailed spirit fox wanted to attack Qingxi to nip trouble in the bud, the help star comparable to Rengui Guoshui's white clean tears nevertheless was not that easy to break free from. For Wu Xingji's launched an assault on Guoshui at the same time. Claws as sharp as blades encircled the girl nearly without any leeway. Clearly, the true body was here among them. It seemed the nine-tailed spirit truly wanted to get rid of the help star. Guoshui's eyes showed a bone-chilling intent. The sky piercer blew an astral wind, slicing apart Wu Xingjia's throat. The Wu Xingjie clutched at the wound on her throat, stopping. Her figure fragmented into a formless blaze. These phantoms appeared overwhelming, but in actuality, they could not withstand a single blow. They were only weak bluffs. The 8 nine-tails transformations easily were destroyed, and the last remaining one seemed to be the true body. A jeering laugh came from behind. The last Wu Xingjie rushed at Su Xing. Using the 8 clones as a screen, the speed of this surprise attack was unusually fast. "I've got you." Su Xing leaned and half-twirled, one hand grabbing Wu Xingjie's hand. No matter what, even if she was possessed, Su Xing did not truly want to harm Wu Xingjie. To be able to catch her and leave evil Smiting Hall, there was a way to deal with this. Just as Su Xing was about to activate the evil Smiting writ, he found a smile on that Wu Xingjie's lips. She became dark sparks and disappeared before Su Xing's eyes. The 9th was also a fake. Su Xing was stunned. "This is bad, she got me." Su Xing suddenly turned his head around. Guoshui noticed the anomaly at the same time, and she looked to Qingxi. Behind the calm as water beautiful woman appeared the real nine-tailed spirit fox. An enormous flame plunged down on her from above like a sharp weapon. This was the nine-tailed spirit fox's true objective she wanted to kill. "Slave truly loathes your scent. Die now." The nine-tailed spirit fox sneered. Dazzling light mind image, 3. Indeed this is a brilliant illusion art. Qingxi seemed to have already anticipated this. Gently smiling, the prostrate snake ruler let out countless ruler shadows that overlapped in several dozen layers, but the nine-tailed spirit fox's strike was exceptionally vicious. This purple star astral treasure's defenses were broken layer by layer, yet Qingxi's actions were graceful as before. Her white finger moved, and the Yazi saber suddenly tore apart space, spitting out a terrifying dark light. The nine-tailed spirit fox's pupils widened, and it immediately became frightened. The Yazi saber cut down from high up. The nine-tailed spirit fox's powerful attack seemed to scatter like laughable shreds of paper and wisps of smoke. This was fatal. The nine-tailed spirit fox sniffed a scent of fear. Persisting in evil brings about self-destruction. Exceptional and stunning star beast of the knowledge star, it is a pity. Qingxi slightly sighed. The Yazi saber's black light focused, deeply making people afraid, and the scene of hell pounced over. The nine-tailed spirit fox turned around to flee, but behind her she saw intersecting sword lights of green and gold simultaneously shoot over. The nine-tailed spirit fox was practically in despair. Just at this moment, the flying swords that flew over abruptly changed directions and avoided the nine-tailed spirit fox. Heaven Tearing and Rengui intersected pair by pair and formed a sword net. The objective was unexpectedly that Yazi saber that was flying over. Bang! This Yazi saber's degree of terror far exceeded Su Xing's imagination. The 24 immemorial flying sword chant was nearly struck into collapsing by the Yazi saber. Su Xing concentrated all of his divine intent in order to stop it. Once Qingxi saw, she showed surprise. Gesturing, the Yazi saber flew back. Only then did Su Xing's pressure greatly alleviate. Young Lord Su Xing. Qingxi's brow knit in confusion. The nine-tailed spirit fox also felt speechless towards Su Xing. What was this man doing? One moment, he was saving the enemy, and then the next, he was saving her. She had never seen such a bizarre star master. Su Xing saw that Yazi saber's ferocity. If it was to actually slash Wu Xingjie like that, Su Xing would instinctively act. Nine-tailed spirit fox, just until when do you plan to stay? Pausing, Su Xing calmly spoke. Too far is as bad as not enough, stop while you still can. The panicked and doubtful nine-tailed spirit fox hid behind Su Xing. She could tell that although the man in front of her wanted to grind her bones and scatter her ashes, he still quite pitied the knowledge star girl she was possessing. Even though he clearly knew killing her would only return her to the star nest, he still was somewhat unwilling. The nine-tailed spirit fox's eyeballs craftily rolled. Young lord, how about we make a deal? What? Young lord, let us work together and kill the women in front of us. So long as young lord kills her, then slave is willing to become the knowledge star's star beast. Young lord, what do you think? The nine-tailed spirit fox enticingly smiled, her pupils were suffused with a lovely and amorous glint. She did not forget to remind him, these women are but young lord's enemies. That astral treasure she is using is also extreme, and this just happens to be a perfect opportunity. Su Xing looked at Qingxi. The beautiful woman was like a portrait, indifferent. Her expression was somewhat pale, for using a purple star astral treasure was inherently extremely taxing. Continuously using it like this was not a small burden on Qingxi. The nine-tailed spirit fox's eyes had a sinister glint. She could tell that Qingxi at the moment was in a weak position. With Su Xing's immemorial sword chant, she perhaps could honestly get rid of the Qingxi possessing that a dragon has 9 sons. Comparable to Rengui Guoshui was like a tense beast, her ice-cold breath lingering. Even if they were separated by several dozen meters, the thick atmosphere could be felt. Probably, Su Xing would move, and the girl that had just been saved by Su Xing would also act without the slightest hesitation. Faced with this sort of overwhelmingly favorable condition, the nine-tailed spirit fox was not afraid Su Xing would disagree. I am uninterested. 3 words made the nine-tailed spirit fox's smile freeze, and they also made Qingxi and Guoshui slightly moved. Su Xing dully said, the deal isn't bad, but I'm sorry. What your young lord, dislikes the most is being blackmailed. Are you a fool? Wu Xinjie shrieked. Just shut up. This sort of manipulative deal was practically an insult to Su Xing. No matter how enticing it was, that was fleeting. Su Xing's figure moved, and he went to grab Wu Xinjie to bring her out of Evil Smiting Hall. After leaving Evil Smiting Hall, the nine-tailed spirit fox in all likelihood could no longer possess Wu Xinjie. The sole thing he had to worry about was her running away and playing hide and seek. You stupid man. You just cannot tell good from bad. How did the knowledge star ever look upon you? This slave will kill you today. The nine-tailed spirit fox had been infuriated. Her 10 fingers danced, and an illusory light spread open. Dazzling light mind image. Facing an unimaginable illusion art, Su Xing did not dare be careless. Immediately, he used mirror without a stand, and at this moment, he suddenly saw Wu Xinjie let out a painful scream. A 9-tail phantom shot out from Wu Xinjie's body. If you wish to harm young lord, Xinjie absolutely will not forgive you, nine-tailed spirit fox. Hearing a familiar voice, Su Xing suddenly felt relaxed. The nine-tailed spirit fox. The Wu Xinjie that had just walked out from the river had just been preparing to go find Su Xing when she lifted her head and was astonished to see that a white fox had appeared on higher ground. The white shadow demon fox extended 9 fox tails. At this time, only then did Wu Xinjie discover she had seen wrongly. It is unexpectedly the nine-tailed spirit fox. The nine-tailed spirit fox was the knowledge star's legendary star beast, like the king of spirits. It possessed a crafty intelligence, and it could use a power called Dazzling Light Mind Image. This ability was powerful to the degree of being terrifying illusion art. The majority of star cultivators only needed to be careless for a moment to die unaware of what happened. Furthermore, for the successive generations of knowledge stars, capturing the nine-tailed spirit fox meant that even if they confronted a first-rate heavenly star marshal general, they had a chance in battle. But to capture the nine-tailed spirit fox practically was an impossible to achieve mission because this star beast had already reached the psychic communication realm. Ordinary means completely were unable to have any effect on her. And to think of using force as a method, the nine-tailed spirit fox's dazzling light mind image was sufficient to leave the knowledge star staring at her back. The fox of snow-white fur stared calmly at Wu Xinjie, its 9 gorgeous tails piled like snow. Those demonic pupils brimmed with a hint of concentration and inquisitiveness. At the same time, the nine-tailed spirit fox's psychic voice echoed in Wu Xinjie's mind. It has been very long since Slave has seen the knowledge star enter evil Smiting Hall. In 800 years, acting as the pitiful star maiden second to Song Jiang, for you to enter this time is actually very astonishing. Wu Xinjie smiled. Since you personally approached Xinjie, there is no need to compete in a star duel with Xinjie, showing your nine-tailed spirit fox's peerlessly elegant poise and manner. A laugh. The nine-tailed spirit fox's laugh had a very human quality, and its expression was considerably charming. That man that fell into Slave's trap must be your master. Truly, he is merely so. Wu Xinjie sneered. If the nine-tailed spirit fox is satisfied by no more than a small trick, then that is truly amusing. Knowledge star, there is no need to speak any more rubbish. Slave coming to find you naturally has some reasons. The nine-tailed spirit fox straightened itself, its 9 tails raised, like a peacock spreading its tail. Speak. If you wish to capture Slave, does the knowledge star dare to allow Slave to possess your body? Upon hearing possession, Wu Xinjie's smile promptly vanished. During the time before signing a contract, the nine-tailed spirit fox possessing her signified a loss of the authority over her own body. To give her corporeal body to the fox in front of her was to lose control over herself. If this nine-tailed spirit fox used her body to do something, that certainly was a bit too disadvantageous. Knowledge star, you are afraid? The nine-tailed spirit fox seemingly was teasing her. Give Xinjie one reason to oblige you. Wu Xinjie asked back. Slave wants to possess your body only naturally to observe your master. Should Slave feel interested, she will then contract with you. If he makes Slave disappointed, Slave will not make things difficult for you. This sounded very reasonable. But she was incapable of setting Wu Xinjie at ease. She actually was not afraid of the nine-tailed spirit fox taking over her body. With a star general's body, possessing her completely lacked sense. What Wu Xinjie most worried was that the nine-tailed spirit fox would perhaps harm Su Xing. The nine-tailed spirit fox killing the knowledge star's contractor was not at all strange. Right now, they already did not have much time, and Wu Xinjie did not want to face any more risk. She had to at least discuss this first with Su Xing. Just as she was about to decline, the nine-tailed spirit fox teased. Knowledge star, you feel that your master will make Slave disappointed, or are you saying you feel unsuitable to capturing Slave? What a good use of psychology. Wu Xinjie smiled, her thoughts turning. So what if Xinjie obliges you, but similarly, Xinjie has requests? Do you dare agree? Oh. First, you have only 3 days' time of possession. And what can Slave discern in 3 days? However, what harm is there in agreeing? The nine-tailed spirit fox nodded. Second, you cannot harm master, otherwise, Xinjie will absolutely not forgive you. Interesting, truly interesting. Slave is more and more interested in your master. Wu Xinjie was also very interested in this legendary nine-tailed spirit fox. If they had its help, facing Maiden Mountain would have just a bit more certainty. As the ancients said, riches and honor were to be sought for in the midst of danger. With a chance in front of Wu Xinjie, how could she let this go, let alone that she was very confident in Su Xing. With Su Xing's sharpness, presumably, whatever tricks this nine-tailed spirit fox wanted to try would be of no use. Her star crest twinkled. The nine-tailed spirit fox leapt into Wu Xinjie's head, transforming into a ray of white light that entered her cranium. Immediately after the pure light flashed from head to toe, when Wu Xinjie opened her eyes once again, her expression was already alluring enough to make anyone's blood vessels expand. Slave will properly take care of your master, however, even if slave wishes to harm him, just what can you do about that? Wu Xinjie licked her palm, flirtatiously falling over. You stupid man unexpectedly dares to refuse slave's request. The nine-tailed spirit fox was abruptly angry. She was incapable of believing that when confronted with such an overwhelmingly advantageous condition, she would unexpectedly be refused. Could it be that he saw that she wanted to exploit him? No, impossible. Killing a star master was what each star master would willingly go do. Even if he had found her out, with her dazzling light mind image in addition to Su Xing's flying swords, dropping one of their opponents was not at all impossible. With such a good opportunity, the nine-tailed spirit fox did not believe there would be anybody who would decline. But Su Xing felt that he might as well be straightforward, not dilly-dallying in the slightest, to make the nine-tailed spirit fox very hurt. Stupid, courting death. The nine-tailed spirit fox leapt high up, dazzling light mind image activating. The nine-tailed spirit fox burning in fury truly exuded killing intent. But it was just at this moment that its cranium had an excruciating pain like it was tearing open. A powerful star energy forced her out. How can this be? The nine-tailed spirit fox watched dumbstruck as it broke out of possession status. The Su Xing just about to attack hurriedly retracted his trike, opening both his arms to embrace the girl. Although Wu Xinjie's complexion was somewhat pale, a familiar charm appeared in her eyes. Young lord. In the future, don't do this sort of thing. Su Xing stiffened his face. Wu Xinjie stuck out her tongue. She turned her head. The nine-tailed spirit fox's original body fell out. It was the nine-tailed fox that would make anyone feel it was flirty. At this moment, the nine-tailed spirit fox's whole body arched, baring its fangs, startled yet infuriated. Under a state of no contract, the nine-tailed spirit fox's possession would control the knowledge star's body. In other words, during this time, Wu Xinjie was just like she was in a deep sleep. So long as the nine-tailed spirit fox did not leave the possession state, Wu Xinjie was unable to wake up. But what made the nine-tailed spirit fox extremely surprised was that under a voluntary possession situation, the knowledge star unexpectedly could still wake up. The sole explanation was this: the knowledge star and her contractor had reached the perfect harmony realm and had already surpassed her control. It was just as Wu Xinjie said, so long as the nine-tailed fox harmed Su Xing, then Wu Xinjie could immediately awaken, forcefully breaking the possession. To think of harming young lord, Xinjie absolutely will not forgive you, nine-tailed spirit fox. Wu Xinjie coldly spoke, the heaven-concealing star feather fan in hand. Kill them, then slave shall accompany you. The nine-tailed spirit fox slowly calmed. To witness a star master with such a realm made her furious yet feel perplexed at the same time. Might as well kill you instead. Heaven tearing unsheathed. It became a great golden downpour that stormed down. The nine-tailed spirit fox made a shrill cry. It glared at Su Xing. The mane in front of her truly would not yield even a single step. Go die, you. You all will regret this. Knowledge star, so long as you are in evil smiting hall one day, slave will make you regret this. The nine-tailed spirit fox said furiously. It flashed, becoming a ray of white light that escaped. The knowledge star somewhat sighed in regret. This was but the knowledge star's legendary nine-tailed spirit fox. She never expected that they would not capture it, and on the contrary, become enemies instead. Wu Xinjie did not know whether to laugh or cry. However, there was no helping this. The nine-tailed spirit fox in front of them displayed too powerful a control. Let alone that Su Xing loathed it, even she herself did not like it at all. This elder sister looks somewhat familiar, have we met before? Wu Xinjie and Su Xing whirled around, not forgetting that present was also a mysterious star master. Qingxi was like a portrait, elegant and refined, her expression calm, her bearing dignified. Wu Xinjie always felt that she had seen the woman in front of her somewhere before, but she could not recall. Qingci, Guoshui. Su Xing introduced them simply. Wu Xinjie nodded. It seemed Su Xing recognized them, that was why she felt they were familiar. Wu Xinjie did not think too much, but she was inwardly speechless at the dragon has 9 suns purple star astral treasure around Qingci's body. This 9-in-1 purple star astral treasure was like thunder pouring in her ear. Controlling one was extremely difficult, to say nothing of 9. She wondered which sect star master Qingci was. Could it be said that she was the purple firmament immortal palaces? Qingci stared at Wu Xinjie, her crystal-clear eyes carrying a mystery Su Xing could not describe. Little sister Xinjie has found an enviable contractor. Qingci smiled. The Yazi saber dimmed and slowed, then recovering its calm. Xinjie feels that this little sister helped Star Guoshui is the enviable one. Wu Xinjie replied. The two made friendly conversation. Those unaware would see these two as just like sisters. But in Qingci's eyes was some regret. Su Xing could not fathom her. Before leaving, Guoshui nodded at Su Xing, as if she was expressing thanks for his earlier aid. Then, she bade farewell and left this place / this Qingci, young lord must be wary. In the future, she will be a thorny enemy. Xinjie can sense it. Wu Xinjie's tone was serious. Didn't you two chat very happily? Could it be you aren't friends? Su Xing smiled and asked. Xinjie does not know either. Wu Xinjie frowned, vexed. Don't think too much. If she's a friend, drink a cup of wine, if she's an enemy, send for a blade. Su Xing had quite the favorable impression of the stunning Qingci. Although the two once had a bit of misunderstanding, when the final phase began, there was the possibility she could perhaps become an ally. Wu Xinjie smiled. Is young lord thinking of inebriating that Qingci and then taking advantage to assault her afterwards? I haven't assaulted my own beautiful ladies enough, why would I assault her? Su Xing shook his head. Wu Xinjie's hands embraced him, her plump chest pressing tightly against his abdomen. Beside his ear, she enchantingly whispered, young lord, there is still some time, come assault Xinjie. Su Xing embraced Wu Xinjie, needing that plumpness, intimately engaging her in a hot kiss. Young lord, Xinjie wants to assault you right now. Wu Xinjie seized Su Xing's shameful hardness, her eyes seemingly about to drip lustful tears. She pushed Su Xing down, undressed, completely revealing her whole body. We'd better use the yin-yang love-making powder first. Su Xing endured his burning desire. Wu Xinjie panted, her cheeks crimson, young lord, don't think of Xinjie. In actuality, Xinjie has an objective. What objective? Su Xing lifted his head from his sucking. Xinjie wants young lord, Wu Xinjie bashfully said. Su Xing perspired. This objective was honestly rather straightforward. Before Wu Xinjie had even finished. There is still that 8 gates black gold chain. The 8 gates black gold chain. The knowledge star's second destined star weapon, the same as the skillful star Yenizhen's second star weapon, 3 arrows lethal crossbow. Only under certain circumstances could it manifest. What was different was that the knowledge star's 8 gates black gold chain always was enigmatic. The records of previous star duels pertaining to the knowledge star's 8 gates black gold chain were only a few words. As far was conjectures surrounding the 8 gates black gold chain, those were also of differing opinions because the knowledge star resourceful star Wuyong was ranked an astonishing 3rd. However, she was somewhat similar to the ranked 1st Song Jiang, completely lacking combat innate skills. On magic, she also did not have any contributions, and she even could not compare to the leader star resourceful strategist Zhu Wu in terms of arrays. Her sole advantage was in strategic battle tactics. Though these types of battle tactics could change the course of a war, they nevertheless could not change the fate of the star duels. Over the generations, the knowledge star also was barely second to Song Jiang, an existence of other star cultivators rushing like ducks to kill her. However, any way it was put, the one ranked third was unlikely to be in such a sorry situation. After all, in the successive star duels, there was a knowledge star in the 7 Stars Uprising Assembly that ascended Maiden Mountain. But that generation's knowledge star was very mysterious. The materials pertaining to her could be counted on fingers, and the one thing that was known was that she manifested the second star weapon, 8 Gates black gold chain. Wu Xinjie then guessed. Little E merely had to be emotionally stirred to the depths to manifest the 3 arrows lethal crossbow. Any way it was put, she, Wu Xinjie, had to be in perfect harmony with her young master, right? There was no reason for it to still not have emerged. A most dangerous situation was also fine, the most illicit situation was also arranged. Wu Xinjie had practically tested everything, but she did not sense the presence of the 8 Gates black gold chain in the slightest. This made Wu Xinjie very hurt. Testing every sort of method, currently, there was only one thing left that Wu Xinjie could think of. Sexual intercourse dual cultivation. Su Xing was also very hurt when he heard this. Wu Xinjie said displeased, her expression extremely tantalizing, "Young lord, the 8 Gates black gold chain is only an excuse. However, if it can also appear at the same time, that is even better." Come, her soft tone made his morality go weak. Her underwear was pushed aside. With her lovely body completely naked, her virgin fragrance lingered, and red clouds dyed her face. Wu Xinjie's pupils were passionate, but upon seeing those slender jade legs straddle him, he could only smell the spring waters of her pistol, the scent assaulting him in the face. Su Xing's mind trembled. All of his hesitation was sucked clean away under Wu Xinjie's influence. Every last part of Wu Xinjie was left with Su Xing's hickeys. Raising his head from that secret flower garden, Su Xing patted Wu Xinjie's butt. The girl understood. She knelt on both knees, prostrating herself where she was. Looking at her from behind, the girl's graceful curves were incomparably enticing, each place capable of making anyone wild. Turning her head back, her expression was extremely charming. "Young lord, you must have pity on Xinjie." "Xinjie, are you serious?" Su Xing's burning hardness lightly pressed against her secret place. Quickly. Wu Xinjie had long been impatient. There was a pitiful moan. Su Xing no longer wasted his breath on words. He grabbed her round softness and slowly straightened his body. Her pistol blossomed, and entering deeper inch by inch, he went straight into the softness of that deepest place. For a time, this was accompanied by Wu Xinjie's touching moans. Feeling the girl's tight embrace, in that instant, Su Xing's heart thoroughly melted. Su Xing, Su Xing, Su Xing, the feeling of her empty place stuffed full made Wu Xinjie's spirit nearly faint. Bearing the attacks behind her, the girl passionately cried out. Each cry made the pair sink into an endless realm of perfect harmony. What was there that could act as proof? Spring breeze kissed the pistol, the spring water seemed intoxicated. For who was her passion, a falling redness protecting spring? Their harmony could be described with 1,000 characters. Several more hours passed after sex. Wu Xinjie was very tired, very weak. The price of the star maiden losing her virginity also slowly became apparent at this time. The weakness of the girl's aura was not ordinary. Although they were climbing Mount Wu just now, with the girl ascending to that peak where she wished she was dead, after the fact, she seemed exhausted to almost drowning. Su Xing embraced Wu Xinjie. Seeing Wu Xinjie gradually weaken, his heart truly hurt to death. "Young lord, you being like this makes Xinjie feel very guilty." Wu Xinjie smiled and said. "Your young lord truly is somewhat worse than a beast." Su Xing said. Wu Xinjie laughed and winked. "Young lord, your worse than a beast just now was so fierce." Su Xing was speechless. He poked her forehead. "We had better leave soon, have Suan take a look at you." Su Xing said. "It was just about time. Can young lord help Xinjie up?" Su Xing chuckled. Not only did he raise Wu Xinjie up, he also helped her dress from inside out. He made the girl endlessly bashful. Looking at Su Xing from the side, her eyes were lovely and moving. Are you really alright like this? Su Xing saw that Wu Xinjie had lost her color. Her breathing was labored, and she was limp all over, her strength lost. Finally, they could be considered to have understood the consequences of losing her virginity. If it was a martial general, they would be no different from a cripple. Su Xing's heart pounded. Fortunately, when he originally climbed Mount Wu with Lin Yingmei, they had the yin-yang lovemaking powder. If at that time they did not endure, or perhaps if the yin-yang lovemaking powder was merely a comfort medicine, those consequences truly were incapable of being imagined. Momentary pleasure compared to long-term weakness was not something Su Xing was willing to see. Wu Xinjie did not care at all. Although she had become this weak, using the dual cultivation of the fine lady's essence gathering, just now, her own star energy had mutually replenished Su Xing's in a dual cultivation exchange. Acting as the ranked third knowledge star, Wu Xinjie's star energy was considerably large enough to be startling. Su Xing advancing to galaxy middle stage because of this was not out of the question. Knowing she gave this a lot of thought, Su Xing was still hurt. Xinjie wonders whether the 8 gates black gold chain can appear or not. Wu Xinjie took deep breaths, stood firm, and formed a hand seal. The current her and Su Xing had already developed to the perfect harmony realm that star maidens and star masters practically could never reach. If this still could not manifest her second star weapon, Wu Xinjie would then truly be left without a choice. Her star crest flickered. Some time afterwards, Wu Xinjie heaved a long sigh. Clearly it was a failure. Forget it, you have to properly recuperate first. Don't think about that 8 gates black gold chain anymore. It will naturally appear when the time is right, let nature take its course. What should come will come in the end, forcing it will make it leave in the end, Su Xing consoled her. Wu Xinjie laid her head on Su Xing's chest, somewhat a bit disappointed. However, Su Xing's chest still made the girl feel her heart grow warm. And, to be able to eat up young lord was something Xinjie wanted to do the most. Wu Xinjie chuckled. Su Xing smiled. Just as the pair was about to leave. Suddenly at this moment, they heard an alluring voice sound out. How can you possibly obtain the 8 gates black gold chain with this kind of method? Slave feels you are merely thinking of finding an excuse, knowledge star. Flying swords flew out with a dragon cry. A slender white figure appeared on a tree. Glittering pupils carried a lovely expression, and 9 tails swayed. It was the 9-tailed spirit fox. Without saying anything, Su Xing activated the sword chant. If you do not wish to have the knowledge star become a complete star general, then do not hesitate to kill slave. The 9-tailed spirit fox seemed to sneer. The flying swords halted. What did you say? Su Xing's tone sunk, his brow knitting tightly. The 9-tailed spirit fox stared at Wu Xinjie. The latter smiled mysteriously. An odd knowledge star has appeared this generation. The 9-tailed spirit fox said. Xinjie will treat this as praise. Wu Xinjie smiled. Humph. The 9-tailed spirit fox had possessed Wu Xinjie. Originally, she wanted to use seduction to test Su Xing. Now it seemed she truly had done more than required. Actually, this young married couple had already been illicit to some unknown degree. However, this man truly was bizarre. You kept peeping just now. Su Xing's tone was displeased. You humans copulated in slave's domain, and still you want to blame slave for not withdrawing? Su Xing was speechless. This 9-tailed spirit fox honestly was excessive. I don't have interest in wasting time with you. What did you mean by what you said just now? Su Xing asked. Slave wishes to sign a contract with you. The 9-tailed spirit fox jumped down from the tree, gracefully walking over to Wu Xinjie. Su Xing's eyes showed suspicion. It is very difficult to encounter such an interesting knowledge star and star master. How can slave keep on being lonely inside evil Smiting Hall? The nine-tailed spirit fox split open its mouth, smiling with sharp fangs clearly revealed. Su Xing looked at Wu Xinjie. The girl nodded. You truly plan to become Xinjie's star beast? Of course. The nine-tailed spirit fox scratched itself with its hind legs, a carefree appearance. Your master honestly is too stupid. Slave feels very interested in how far you two can go. Let alone that the knowledge star would unexpectedly freely give her virginity away. This honestly is very much to Slave's liking. The nine-tailed spirit fox giggled. Su Xing thought, fuck, this nine-tailed spirit fox isn't male, right? However, Slave has a condition. The nine-tailed spirit fox's topic changed. What condition? Should Slave help you win the star duels, the wish shall belong to Slave. No way. Wu Xinjie bluntly refused. Why? The nine-tailed spirit fox knew this married couple did not act according to common sense. This time, it was not angry. If Slave becomes your star beast, you will naturally know of Slave's advantages. If you want to win the star duels, knowledge star, without Slave at your side, the probability is remote. Apologies, Xinjie still has sisters. It seems there is no chance to be with the nine-tailed spirit fox. Wu Xinjie smiled and said. The nine-tailed spirit fox again looked to Su Xing. The latter's indifferent expression answered very clearly. Never mind, Slave does not hold any interest in Maiden Mountain's so-called wish. The nine-tailed spirit fox shook its head. Just come capture Slave now. Wu Xinjie took out the evil smiting writ, immediately chanting the capture incantation. Su Xing stood guard nearby, the 24 flying swords not daring to be careless. For the sake of avoiding the nine-tailed spirit fox's dazzling light mind image illusion art, he even used the mirror without a stand to make the extreme sincerity soul technique reach its peak. The nine-tailed spirit fox indeed wanted to sign a contract with Wu Xinjie, for the capture process was very smooth. A star crest flashed on the nine-tailed spirit fox's head. From now on, this moment made clear that this proud nine-tailed spirit fox had genuinely become Wu Xinjie's star beast. Wu Xinjie loosed a breath, unable to cover the relaxation in her eyes. Master, please confer Slave a name. The nine-tailed spirit fox respectfully crawled. Young master, what name should be chosen? The names Wu Xinjie thought of clearly did not suit the nine-tailed spirit fox, feeling briefly embarrassed. Su Xing saw that the nine-tailed spirit fox's 9 tails were like snow piles, and the surroundings had scarlet flower petals flutter in the wind. A thought flashed through his heart. He said, wind, flower, snow, and moon. 2. You shall be called Hua Shui. 3. Young lord, truly a good name. Wu Xinjie's eyes shone. From today onwards, thou art known as Hua Shui. Hua Shui engraves to memory. Master, just now you mentioned the 8 gates black gold chain. Hua Shui said. Do you know something? Slave knows what can make the 8 gates black gold chain appear. Ah. Hua Shui, is what you say true? Acting as the knowledge star's legendary star beast, the nine-tailed spirit fox evidently would not lie. The nine-tailed spirit fox leapt, an array of white light flew towards Wu Xinjie. An unexpected great satisfaction. When Su Xing and Wu Xinjie emerged from Evil Smiting Hall, even the knowledge star had never thought she would capture a star beast. Not only that, the 8 gates black gold chain also finally manifested its form. Of course, what most made Wu Xinjie satisfied was that her relationship with Su Xing had finally broken through that final layer. Luckily, after capturing the nine-tailed spirit fox, the price of losing her virginity was negated. The 3 days of time in Evil Smiting Hall truly made Wu Xinjie wish these days could continue. Her lips' smile never faded. The nine-tailed spirit fox followed after the knowledge star, its fur a snow white, its pupils bewitching, making the beauties in the void immortal's abode greatly shocked. Even the gaze of the most cold and indifferent Wu Siyou was attracted by the nine-tailed spirit fox. Confronted with their curious expressions, Wu Xinjie naturally knew what the sisters wanted to ask, but now, their time was nevertheless short. The very long evil smiting hall finally reached a close. The 7 beauties, besides Gongsun Huang's temporary abandonment, each obtained the star beast of their dreams, but there was still one final one. The noble star little whirlwind Chai Ling gracefully stood up. Her hair was bound in a cloud bun, stuck with a phoenix hairpin and tassels, her steps graceful, her blue court long skirt outlined her charming curves. The corners of her skirt were piled like waves, dragging gently along the ground. Her blue pupils were like clear lake water, yet they also carried a feeling of mocking arrogance. Truly, your luck with women is not lacking, unexpectedly making this palace wait so long for you. Her Highness Queen Chai Ling already was a bit impatient. After Su Xing emerged, she did not waste words nor did she spend time wasting words, for she wanted to enter Evil Smiting Hall. Su Xing and Chai Ling did not have a contract, but Chai Ling and Su Xing did ingest the together to hell. This sort of rarely seen spirit medicine could create the facade of a contract. Little sister Siyou, next we will have to trouble you. Wu Xinjie said. Wu Siyou nodded, her head cold as frost. Her expression indifferently swept across. She stepped forward, and her myriad strands of flowing hair billowed. Is one day's time enough? Wu Siyou calmly said. Acting as the Wu Song who had already obtained her star beast, the white and black unicorn tiger, she could only stay in Evil Smiting Hall for one day. All of the girls turned their inquisitive gazes to Chai Ling. Be at ease, this palace also does not wish to stay in Evil Smiting Hall for too long a time, so as to avoid dirtying this palace. Chai Ling faintly smiled. Then, she looked to Su Xing. Have you prepared? Or will you say that you need to catch your breath? A rarely seen bit of concern. Although she was a bit concerned, she was more derisive. Passing through 7 continuous Evil Smiting Hall battles, this consumption was not something an ordinary person could bear. Furthermore, each time he entered Evil Smiting Hall, the difficulties Su Xing faced were severe. If it was an average person, they long would already have been unable to continue. Su Xing was quite exhausted, a sort of fatigue with his energy being sucked clean. Fortunately, dual cultivation with Wu Xinjie replenished much of his vigor, barely enough to be able to cope. Su Xing did not want to bear any more side issues. Nodding without any objection, for there was no point in discussing further. In any case, they still had Wu Siyou. Looking around from atop a cliff face, below there was an emerald green grassland, land to gallop straight across, without limit. The bright blue skies spread through their surroundings, and on the horizon was a vaguely visible palace in the clouds. The enormous bright moon gently enshrouded it. Even if it was daytime, this was exceptionally dazzling. The place Su Xing and Chai Ling appeared at was very special and very warm. I can't tell what place is a mirage or what is real. Su Xing surveyed the distant 1,000 miles. In the mist was a vaguely visible palace. That palace seemingly was set into the middle of the bright moon, completely mysterious. He did not know whether it was an illusion or not. If it was real, it appeared that the influence of the star beast of the palace in the clouds was considerably great. If it was not for his time being short, Su Xing was very interested in exploring. His thoughts returned to Chai Ling's body. At this time, the queen stood on the cliffside, looking down like the sovereign of the world. The Chai Ling wearing a palace dress swaying gently on the ground appeared very beautiful, her charming figure ample, particularly those several pieces of blue starlight jewelry that made her appear even more noble. Chai Ling quietly and slowly breathed, as if she was savoring Evil Smiting Hall's air. It made Su Xing unable to help but smile. Chai Ling, to be frank, why don't you find a star master? With your vast wealth and your connections, are the star duels a problem for you? I can't see it. Chai Ling shot a glance at Su Xing, twitched her thin lips, showing disdain. What the end of the star duels relies on is still the compatibility between Star General and Star Master. Even if one possesses wealth equal to that of a nation, that is merely a jest, relationships, even more laughable. In the star duels, you die and I live. Only a man as sluggish as you would idiotically think of creating a harem that accepts all of the sisters. Su Xing dripped with cold sweat. You misunderstand, if they don't offend me, then I won't offend them. Chai Ling opened the golden thread feather fan, hit her red lips and let out a soft chuckle, the 9th generation star duels. Unexpectedly, that there would be a star master like you with a naive way of thinking is truly unimaginable. This palace wonders what your identity is in the end, for this palace is suddenly very curious. The little whirlwind also knew that although that the man before her currently showed no will to harm man or beast, at the critical moment, he was still quite reliable. Chai Ling could see this clue from the 7 sisters following him. In this month staying at the Void Immortal's abode, Chai Ling was given a profound impression. Every time Su Xing emerged from Evil Smiting Hall, the joy of the sisters remained fresh in her memory. Watching the sisters share their joys and sorrows, who said this sort of scene did not move Chai Ling to have the thought of a contract. Compared to acting as an observer of the star duels, the 9th noble star had even more interest in participating, otherwise, she would not face such enormous danger coming to Evil Smiting Hall. But Chai Ling also knew, that even if she truly wanted to sign a contract, perhaps the man in front of her would hesitate. Participating in the star duel signified the noble star would have nothing at all. Not only would this bring Su Xing another calamity, putting herself in his shoes, even Chai Ling would not do this sort of unprofitable exchange. Chai Ling, what are you thinking of? Are you truly thinking of signing a star duel covenant? Chai Ling always was paying attention to him, making Su Xing somewhat embarrassed. I'm just saying, don't take it seriously, I certainly don't want to become enemies with you. Su Xing earnestly said. Chai Ling used a seeming smile to cover her heart's indescribable disappointment. You had better mind yourself first, properly look after the sisters, Su Xing nodded. Walking several steps, Chai Ling turned her head back and suddenly asked. Was the yin-yang lovemaking powder this palace gifted you of use? Do you have any more? Su Xing twitched his lips, chuckling. Chai Ling had an expression of, sure enough, it was this, for the 9th generation star duels to be able to have a star master like you, no wonder that Chao Gai wants to punish you. Can you tell this palace how you got to know the other sisters? This palace is very curious why you can break the rules, contract so many sisters. Chai Ling asked. Su Xing walked to her side, walked shoulder to shoulder with her. The fragrance of Chai Ling's queenly elegance made him dazzled and stunned, particularly those plump and towering breasts stretching that snow-white bodice to the point of breaking out of her clothes. Looking further would make him unable to help but want to tenderly love it. Combined with the current Chai Ling's charm and her noble enticing manner, compared to the 9-tailed spirit fox-possessed Wu Xinjie, she was not to be outdone. Su Xing calmed his mind. Seeing his slightly narrow appearance, the smile on Chai Ling's lips was even more amused. Su Xing then narrated to Chai Ling the course of events of how he knew the girls. He was also very curious why he was able to break the rules, but he did not know whether or not these rules had a limit. Slowly, Chai Ling grew more engrossed as she listened, and her body could not help but involuntarily draw ever closer. Su Xing did not notice either, for speaking of the very long circumstances of how he came to know Lin Yingmei and the rest was seemingly a never-ending story. He completely recalled everything, but his excellent storytelling always could not avoid adding some romantic plots. Chai Ling's expression turned from mockery to curiosity and then to concentration. Leaning in, her pace gracefully accompanied him. The atmosphere was continuously very peaceful. And the path the two walked down the mountain seemed to have no end. Listening to Su Xing's eloquence, Chai Ling suddenly felt that staying in Evil Smiting Hall for just a bit longer was not a bad thing at all. Evil Smiting Hall, under the palace in the clouds. The clanging sounds of battle endlessly entered the ear. On a lush mountain and green waters, a thin, black swan-like figure fluttered amidst the scenery. A young girl with white clothes surpassing snow waved brandished a profound sword technique, blocking with difficulty, her more than a dozen icy flying swords revolving in support. She naturally was Gong Kai Wei. Bang! Black sword light heavily struck, and the flying swords simultaneously went to block. Roar! There was an eerie roar. The flying swords were shaken aside. When Gong Kaiwei saw, her face expressionless, she rapidly withdrew, her steps light as smoke, dodging away. What appeared was a woman of tall stature and wheat-colored skin. Her sloppy black hair displayed a woman's coarseness, her eyes a glossy black that displayed cruelty indicating her frenzy. She rode atop a black and odd ferocious beast. That beast was like an enormous lizard, but its whole body was of black scales, pervasive with an evil presence. It exuded a gloomy strangeness. The woman's hand hefted a double hatchet of dense ghost chi, her murderous aura skyrocketing. Astonishingly, she was the killer star Black Whirlwind Li Longkue. Black Whirlwind Li Kue. Gong Kaiwei spat out several ice-cold words, her eyes completely lacking fear. Humph. The black ferocious beast below her hips made an ear-piercing bellow, rushed over, its aggression violent without equal. Dark rank magic circle, family shifting sea-filling array. The leader star resourceful strategist Zhu Sha pointed a finger, and the 5 elements weather banner revolved to envelop their target. An array appeared under Li Longkue's feet, and an enormous mountain suddenly pressed down on her. In the center of the array, churning seas that overflowed the heavens crammed into a radius of 10 li black chi soared into the skies. Zhu Sha's eyes moved. Li Longkue still rushed out the array, however, the star beast beneath her legs nevertheless did not know when to stop. Killing intent manifested in Li Longkue's eyes as she lifted the axe head to chop. The 5 elements weather banner turned and protected Zhu Sha. At this time, Gong Kaiwei also raised, tracing snow, to attack. The girl cultivated sword techniques ever since she was small, the tracing snow in her hand having gone through thousands of hammer strikes and hundreds of refinements, even injected with the soul of a dragon. It could barely contend against a star weapon for a short time. Even if she was not like Su Xing who had inherited Lin Chang's battle doctrine, her fighting still was methodical. Her sword moves repeatedly flashed. Zhu Sha pointed her finger, and the magic circle simultaneously did not stop. Seeking your own doom. Li Longkue blossomed with a grim smile. Bereaved immortal lofty slaughter wildly danced, and everything in the world changed color. The sky was hidden beneath the bright moon, and the faintly discernible palace also was washed. Ghosts wept and cried. Su Xing turned his head to gaze 1,000 li away where there was apparently an evil cloud, the hazy palace indistinct. N. Chai Ling's expression was inquisitive. It seems there is indeed a powerful star beast over there. Su Xing's heart had an anxiousness that was impossible to get rid of. Chai Ling also looked and gave a seeming smile, then it seems truly that is misfortunate. Why do you say this? Because this palace has decided to capture her star beast here. Chai Ling faintly answered. Right here, Su Xing looked around. The environment Chai Ling chose actually was not something he could fuss with. What he was expansive, mountains on one side and water on the other, with a beautiful and secluded atmosphere, but that place 1,000 li away faintly emitting black chi made him feel not particularly pleasant. Your time is already short enough. This palace also does not wish to do more than what is required. Chai Ling's, good at understanding others, opinion naturally was not something Su Xing would decline. Before coming to Evil Smiting Hall, Chai Ling already made sufficient preparations. Using 1 day's time to capture a star beast, from the views of others, as far as the ranked 10th noble star was concerned was perhaps a somewhat inconceivable matter. However, Chai Ling had positioned herself outside of the star duels. Regardless of the good and bad of star beasts, so long as she could become a complete star general, this was Chai Ling's desire. Thus, there was no fuss that a day's time was enough. Chai Ling took out a golden mill tray. This mill tray's name was devil-pushing millstone, for as the proverb says, those with money can make the devil push millstones. 2. Chai Ling's method to find her star beast was very direct. She would use the devil-pushing millstone to pile up gold to attract her star beast. The noble star's star beast had always been very easily attracted to flashy things. Using this sort of method to catch a star beast would not need to use even a day to be enough. But the sole weakness was that the myriad threads of light the devil-pushing millstone released was visible from even more than 1,000 li away. This sort of glaring light was exceptionally easy to attract the curiosity of others. If they encountered a powerful star master, with Chai Ling's capabilities, that would be certain death, so this was also why Wu Siyou would also tag along. If they had the harm star's assistance, there were few in evil Smiting Hall who could be her opponent. When Chai Ling began to stack the devil-pushing millstone, Su Xing took out the shifting light mirror. A stream of light glowed, like the outline of a graceful woman sketched on paper with a pen. Wu Siyou walked out from within the mirror, and along with her was the white and black unicorn tiger. Wu Siyou simply asked a question. Chai Ling was piling up a mountain of gold in evil Smiting Hall. At this time, Su Xing and Wu Siyou were to only quietly stand guard in the surroundings. Stacking up a gold mountain was an endless and tedious matter. With regards to gold with its always brilliant luster, Su Xing had already lost interest. Entering and exiting evil Smiting Hall 7 times, this trip with Chai Ling actually was unavoidably relaxed. His mind eased, and Su Xing felt unbearably weary, yet he found a place to rest and Saturday. Wu Siyou monitored Chai Ling for a good moment, also feeling this was dull. Leisurely, she glanced at the not at all attentive Su Xing, pondering for a moment. She then delicately walked towards him. You truly have done your utmost, using 1 month's time to help them capture their star beasts. Now, you have finally tasted suffering, have you not? Wu Siyou's voice was light as wind and clouds. Su Xing raised the corner of his mouth. This sort of hardship doesn't count as anything. Wu Siyou grunted. A faint green bottle landed in Su Xing's hand. This bottle is called 7 Lives Peaceful Mind. 3. Since you knew you were to capture star beasts 7 times, you should have known to prepare this sort of medicine. Wu Siyou's brow rose quite well. Her good wife and loving mother care made Su Xing unable to help but smile. In actuality, he had prepared recovery medicines, however, they were utterly inadequate. To say nothing of relying on medicines, they could only temporarily solve his emergencies. Fighting continuously for a long time, he could not recover at all using medicine. Su Xing thanked her and drank a mouthful of the 7 Lives Peaceful Mind. Wiping his mouth, there was a minty freshness, and his whole body had a cool feeling. What happened between you and Wu Xinjie in evil Smiting Hall? Wu Siyou finally asked. Even the renowned Harm Star could not help but be astonished upon seeing the 9-tailed spirit fox. In the previous generations of star duels, the most commonly seen best star beast of the knowledge star had only been the likes of the white shadow demon fox and nothing else. The 9-tailed spirit fox actually was rarely heard of. For legendary star beasts like this one of the knowledge star, perhaps no arbitrary star maiden could capture one. Wu Siyou was honestly puzzled. There was only 3 days' time, so how could Su Xing have achieved this degree? Sit. Su Xing gestured to a stone next to him. Wu Siyou did not move a single step, seemingly unwilling to get too close to him. Su Xing yawned. He smiled and said, I'm not going to eat you, I just want to borrow wifey's shoulder. What? Wu Siyou knit her brow. Unable to avoid Su Xing's gaze, Wu Siyou sat beside him. Her white clothes were untainted by even a speck of dust, and a serene orchid fragrance hung about her. Nothing more beautiful could be imagined. What happened between you two in evil Smiting Hall? And there was the time with Yingmei. Just what did you do to Yingmei? Wu Siyou coldly spoke. Wifey, just what do you want to ask? Su Xing smiled. So you want to make your servant take action like this? Wu Siyou was somewhat displeased by Su Xing's flirtatious address. Su Xing laughed. It seemed Wu Siyou actually began to accept the idea of wifey. What is there, haven't we also taken a married couple's bath? I remember you yourself recognized our relationship, Siyou. You, hearing that awkward incident, Wu Xiou's face turned cold, yet her ears grew hot. Although teasing an icy beauty was an interesting thing, Su Xing also knew to stop before going too far, so as to avoid ruining things. With Wu Xiou's personality, it was better for him to slowly warm the waters. Looking at Wu Xiou's enchanting red lips, he recalled the naked scene of her in the hot spring, and Su Xing's whole body burned with impatience. What happened with the nine-tailed spirit fox? Wu Xiou asked. Su Xing then repeated what he had said to Chai Ling half a day later. Wu Xiou slightly nodded, pensive. So it turned out to be this, the knowledge star has already manifested the 8 gates black gold chain. She paused. Her thin and cold pupils focused on Su Xing, as if she wanted to say something. In the end, she swallowed back her words. It seems your servant is somewhat unnecessary. She muttered to herself. Why am I so sleepy? Wifey, just what was that bottle of medicine you gave me? Su Xing suddenly felt his eyelids turn heavy, and Wu Xiou's figure grew fuzzy. That can recover your energy, but that is accordingly. You must rest. Wu Xiou softly said. I'm gonna faint, how can I sleep at this time? With your servant here, this place does not need your worry. Wu Xiou disdainfully answered. Su Xing's head was somewhat dizzy. A strong drowsiness attacked his mind, and in the final juncture, he forcefully supported his consciousness. He said, Wife, lend me a shoulder to lean on. Wu Xiou froze. Su Xing already leaned his head against Wu Xiou's shoulder, and he drowsily passed out. Believing in your servant this much will also make you taste suffering. Wu Xiou allowed Su Xing to lean on her shoulder. Her right hand flipped, and a bottle of wine appeared. She took it up, drank a few swigs, and her cheeks turned red as she talked to herself. A golden light blinded her, and Wu Xiou blinked. Chai Ling had finished piling up the devil-pushing millstone. The gold mountains light enshrouded the wide expanse of field in a splendid brilliance. Chai Ling gracefully walked over. Seeing Su Xing lean on Wu Xiou's shoulder, she smiled yet seemingly did not. Has this palace gone blind? Unexpectedly, there is a man that would dare sleep on your body, Siyou. He is the partner that Ying Mei has recognized. Your servant logically ought to look after him. Wu Xiou's tone was indifferent. Chai Ling certainly did not see things this way. At these two were flirty. If she were to speak out about this, no one would believe their relationship was not husband and wife. Just what is good about this man, for even the renowned harm star pilgrim Wu Xiou to be moved as well. Your servant also feels that is strange. Little whirlwind Chai Ling, you unexpectedly would consume the together to hell with him. Wu Xiou shot back. This question stumped Chai Ling. The queen's expression was bewitching, and she used her fan to cover her smiled. It seems this palace is right. Little sister is indeed moved. Wu Xiou said coldly. Nonsense. Is that so? Chai Ling sat on the other side. Staring at Wu Xiou, her expression was full of provocation, then just let this palace properly appease him for a while. As she said this, her arms wrapped around him, pressing Su Xing against her bosom. Her plump breasts made the fast asleep Su Xing groan a few times. Your servant has no interest in being your rival in love. If you want him, your servant shall oblige you. Wu Xiou's hand brushed past her flowing hair, her tone unwavering. Chai Ling softly chuckled. She then pushed Su Xing into Wu Xiou's chest, and this shove perfectly and exactly made intimate contact with Wu Xiou's breasts. Wu Xiou's face was somewhat red, yet she gingerly pushed him aside. After all, that 7 lives peaceful mind was something she herself made him in jest, regardless that it was actually somewhat not too just. This palace is kidding. Little sister, do not be angry. Chai Ling saw Wu Xiou's resentful manner and could not help smiling. Even while this man dreams, he groups around. This palace could not evade him. Wu Xiou coldly glanced at Chai Ling, and then she made Su Xing lay his head on her thighs. Chai Ling felt somewhat astonished when she saw. Ha, Siyou and Su Xing look like they actually are very much husband and wife. Siyou, have you not thought of signing a contract with him? Chai Ling curiously asked. Why would your servant want to sign a contract with him? Wu Siyou played her down. Could it be Ying Mei is not enough reason? Chai Ling said, this palace also knows you would not become enemies with Lin Chong, but at the end of the star duels, whether or not you are unable to bear your own wishes, to this palace, you should sign a contract with Su Xing. Clearly, this is the most perfect outcome. Do not raise this issue any further. Your servant will not sign any contracts. Wu Siyou was resolute. Your servant shall help Ying Mei walk to the end, and for the matters afterwards, your servant has her own countermeasure. Chai Ling shook her head. Wu Siyou's countermeasure was obviously a bad one. Little sister must be considering the overlord title of the previous Wu Song, so that is why you are so opposed to contracts. However, this truly is a senseless affair. By this palace's perspective, if the previous Wu Song knew of your present situation, she certainly would oppose your conduct. Chai Ling mockingly said. Wu Siyou did not reply. She lowered her head to look at Su Xing, and her other hand pet the white and black unicorn tiger lying down to the side. Chai Ling did not know what Wu Siyou was thinking of. A moment later. Can this attract your star beast? Wu Siyou asked. How could this palace do something meaningless? Chai Ling smiled. It is just that the golden light of this heaven-raising pillar is too blinding. Perhaps not only will it draw over star beasts, it could even attract other dangers. Your servant has only a single day's time to assist you. This truly cannot do. Then it seems this palace can only search inside evil Smiting Hall alone with Su Xing. This palace also wishes to know how fortunate she can be by being together with him. If this palace can encounter a star beast as unimaginable as the nine-tailed spirit fox, perhaps this palace will put herself into service participating in his star duels. Chai Ling poked fun at Wu Siyou. How could noble star little whirlwind Chai Ling know at this time that a fortune sufficient to make her despair was right in front of her? Wu Siyou turned her gaze away without the slightest bit of interest from Chai Ling's words. On the horizon, the palace hidden in the clouds appeared in front of them. That place, Wu Siyou muttered, and like Su Xing, she showed an interested expression. It has nothing to do with this palace's star beast. This palace certainly does not wish to bring trouble to herself. Chai Ling had made her position clear in advance. To have her go to that place was an idea she would not accept, without exception. That place has some activity. Perhaps there will be trouble. Wu Siyou's eyes slightly narrowed, and she sneered. Chai Ling could also tell that the air from that place was not too likable, but she was not very concerned. Speaking of trouble, the noble star honestly did not feel that anyone could give any trouble to the 3-star star weapon harm star. Chai Ling looked with a seeming smile at the fortunate man sleeping on Wu Siyou's lap, speaking in ridicule. That said, Siyou, how much longer do you plan on letting Su Xing lay upon your lap? A black wind billowed cold and dismal, drawing apart the dense fog. The corners of the palace skirt shattered and became snowflakes. Gong Kaiwei promptly leaned, a slight graveness appearing on her face. Li Longkue, the killer star, swung the bereaved immortal lofty slaughter double axe, and a black light forced aside the twisting tracing snow sword. Several dozen ice spirit snow soul flying swords endlessly attacked, but to Li Longkue, these hardly posed a threat. Li Longkue screamed, slashing. Song Caiwei's escape technique dodged. Instantly, she landed 500 meters away. Princess. Zhu Sha floated back in retreat, the 5 elements weather banner hastily blocking Li Longkue's incursive attack. Gong Kaiwei panted. The killer star in front of her was somewhat frightening. The injuries her attacks gave Li Longkue apparently had been completely ignored. The tall woman before her raised that bereaved immortal lofty slaughter without leaving any room to maneuver. She completely ignored all of Gong Xiwei's attacks, as if she was a demon of slaughter. Fiend Star. This was a fiend star not just in name but also in reality. Gong Kaiwei slowly breathed, forgetting the fear that wanted to grow in her heart. When she spotted the Guanghan Moon Palace, Gong Kaiwei had originally thought of giving it to the Kasha Rabbit, too, star beast that Zhu Sha was searching for. How could she have known that she would run into the killer star Black Whirlwind Li Kuei, who was also paying a visit? Furthermore, she was a killer star who had obtained the star beast, Biting Azura. 3. Incapable of using magic weapons, Gong Kaiwei honestly was at wit's end against Li Kuei. Still you do not run? I will have you sliced into 10,000 pieces. Li Longkuei shouted, fast as flying. Suddenly, Li Longkuei stopped and lifted her head. Gong Kaiwei and Zhu Sha lifted their heads at the same time. The bottom of the Guanghan Moon Palace raised a magic cloud of ice and frost, letting down a galaxy. On this river of stars was a divine horse, which stepped on stars and frost, with a mane seemingly of fire. A woman of general-like sternness straddled the horse. Her facial features were dignified, yet she was calm. Even if they were separated by a distance, that overbearing mountain-like aggression made them unable to draw breath. This general was wondering why it was so noisy. As it turns out, there are sisters in a star duel. The woman spoke, laughing aloud. Gong Kaiwei, Zhu Sha, and Li Longkuei coldly glared at her. The treasure horse landed, and the woman on the horse swept her gaze over them. Li Kuei, Zhu Wu, it has truly been a long time. Courting death. Li Longkuei no longer cared for Gong Kaiwei. With a leap, the black whirlwind attacked. The girl wore a jade necklace and golden armor. Laughing, her hand fell, and a heavy armament appeared in her hand. With a clang, the girl riding the horse easily knocked Li Kuei back. Good, allow this general to properly lecture you disobedient little sisters. The girl slightly smiled. Seeing that weapon, this time with Li Longkuei included, the three were very surprised. For star-destined weapon. This Gong did not expect to surprisingly encounter you. Gong Xiwei's cold as ice and frost face showed a graveness. Seeing that outstanding 4-star destined weapon, the immortal hero princess' inner tension was fully revealed. At the current phase, she completely was not a foe against a 4-star destined weapon. The weapon naturally was Inger. Above is the Guanghan Moon Palace. This general has looked forward to this for a very long time. The girl said. A mighty pressure matching a 4-star destined weapon pounced towards them. Gong Kaiwei, Zhu Sha, and Li Longkuei cooperated with much tacit understanding, aiming their hostility at Inger. Inger, quickly dispatch them. That place apparently has a very interesting thing. A gentle male voice came from behind the girl. The great Saint Starkiller clad in black magnificent clothing stared at something 1,000 meters away, a twinkling gold light flashing in his eyes. This general obeys your orders. Inger smiled. Gong Kaiwei, Zhu Sha, and Li Longkuei instantly launched an offensive. Their objective was not just anyone, but great Saint Starkiller. To confront a sister with a 4-star destined weapon, even Fiend Star Li Kuei would choose to flee. The 5 elements weather banners array first trapped Inger. Gong Xiwei's Ice Soul Frost Spirit flying swords directly stabbed Great Saint Starkiller, and Li Longkuei used Wild Dance of Demons and Gods. But this overwhelming thing was completely far from enough. The treasure horse whinnied, breaking through Zhu Sha's array, galloping fast as the wind and instantly intercepting Li Longkuei from the front. The star weapon in her hand rose and fell, ending the wild dance of demons and gods. The chilly cold wind came chopping right in her face. Several hundred strands of Li Longkuei's messy black hair was severed by the 4-star destined weapon's sharp edge. The killer star bared her teeth, the double axe resisting the attack. Inger smiled, and the Li Longkuei with the pressure of 1,000 caddies practically was about to fall to a knee. Li Longkuei's face was pale. She took a step back, raised a hand, and her evil smiting writ activated, leaving this place completely without the slightest hesitation. The entire process took place in the blink of an eye. Killer star Li Longkue was forced out of evil smiting hall. Gong Xiwei's attack did not obtain any battle results. Great Saint Starkiller's heavenly cycle-changing sword was more powerful than she had thought. Sensing that Li Longkue had been defeated face-to-face, Gong Kaiwei was without the slightest hesitation, Zhu Sha, leave. But compared to Li Longkue's circumstances, the scene Gong Kaiwei confronted was somewhat terrible. She still had not reached the time when she could leave evil smiting hall. Fleeing? Great Saint Starkiller smiled. As it turned out, you still cannot leave evil smiting hall. Then you are dead for certain, immortal hero princess. Seeing Gong Kaiwei currently running towards that heaven-raising golden light, Great Saint Starkiller coldly laughed. Following Inger, he chased after them. Wifey, did I miss anything? Su Xing stretched himself and rose. He slept exceptionally well. Must you so shamelessly address your servant? Wu Siyou was unhappy. Nonsense, habit becomes nature. Emotions must begin their cultivation from the most insignificant details. Of course, Su Xing did not dare say this aloud. He laughed, all right then, wife. Wu Siyou was expressionless. If you like it, then I'll address you as wife from now on. Su Xing winked. Wu Siyou scowled, your servant certainly does not have an unfaithful and empty lord husband like you. He could tell the harm star was exceptionally dissatisfied. Su Xing rolled his eyes at her. Just consider it for Lin Yingmei. Su Xing used her shoulder to help himself up. Our relationship improving a bit won't make things difficult for her, isn't that right? Wu Siyou's white finger flicked away that perverse hand. Your servant knows you have a tongue like reeds and does not wish to engage in chatter with you. However, Wu Siyou also conceded that Su Xing's words were somewhat logical. Compared to Su Xing, who concerned Wu Siyou more was Yingmei. Wife, you are but a bit hypocritical. Su Xing smiled. But I am considerably earnest. It seems I'd better call Siyou wife in the future. Su Xing pondered. Wu Siyou knew that the shameless man in front of her was making her show her true feelings, to make her personally admit the relationship between them. Although such a relationship was somewhat something scoff at in Wu Siyou's eyes, of course Wu Siyou still had another sort of answer, which was to use the noble frost demonic lotus to cut him into pieces to feed to dogs. You had best still call your servant wifey. Wu Siyou already lost the interest to argue. Whoever made her commit that previous folly of calling out Lord Husband had made this man take a mile when she gave an inch. For this kind of detail, Wu Siyou did not wish to bicker any longer. No one else knew what wifey meant anyways. In addition, Wu Siyou had found that she herself was not truly disgusted with such an address, but compared to the annoying Su Xing's shouts, as if he was merrily poking fun at her, this made Wu Siyou somewhat upset. Now seeing Su Xing was truly wishing for it, Wu Siyou felt whatever was fine for him. If the young married couple has finished flirting, then should you not be helping this palace capture her star beast? Chai Ling's mocking voice came from afar. Chai Ling, what nonsense do you speak of? Wu Siyou's face was slightly red as she shot a glance at her. This palace certainly is not fond of being coy or maudlin. Since you have been called as such, then admit it. These repeated changes, this palace actually somewhat cannot look upon Siyou. Chai Ling seemingly smiled yet did not. Wu Siyou had been left speechless by her words, and her ears burned with fire. Chai Ling's words reached Su Xing's heart, but he did not want to make things too embarrassing for Wu Siyou. He then shifted the topic and asked, has your star beast come? It has come. Chai Ling pointed. A snow-white figure had appeared on the gold mountain, and was currently nibbling on the gold. Staring, that unexpectedly was a cat. With one gold and one dark heterochromatic pupils, fur that was soft, a tail like a flexible and slippery snake easily moving about, it looked completely like an ordinary cat. Chai Ling, this is your star beast. Anyway, Su Xing looked at it. This was just a house cat. Riches and honor Persia, this palace had once heard of it but never expected to actually see it. This palace takes it very much to her liking. Chai Ling nodded. 5. This must be the three eyes wealth-inviting beast. 6. Wu Siyou said. Siyou, you know of it. Chai Ling smiled. The riches and honor Persia was also called the three eyes wealth-inviting beast, a star beast that could bring good fortune. Using gold as food, it ate the treasures in the world. Legend said that it could open a third eye that could dissolve the treasures of the world. However, Chai Ling actually did not fancy its abilities. Placing herself outside the star duels, whatever happened was fleeting nature of the heavens. What Chai Ling took to her liking actually was the three-eyed wealth-inviting beast's figure. Delicate and adorable, this honestly was the optimum choice for a house pet. She had the feeling to hug this little cat in her bosom, and thus Chai Ling was very moved. Let alone that this was her star beast, this feeling of satisfaction was simply something she never had before. Su Xing was speechless. As it turned out, Chai Ling had faced such enormous risk just to come find a house cat to act as a pet. She truly did very much have the style of a queen. Then what should we do right now? Su Xing asked her. The riches and honor Persia currently lay atop the gold mountain that Chai Ling piled up, eating to its heart's content. For the time being, it was not easy to act. Wait until she is full. This palace can then capture it. Chai Ling chuckled. Money can open heaven, not just in name but in reality. Su Xing sighed. This perhaps was the easiest time he had coming to evil Smiting Hall to capture a star beast. A queen was a queen, and her star beast was docile. But before that, it seems trouble has come. Chai Ling's gaze suddenly sunk as she stared into the horizon. The expressions of Su Xing and Wu Siyou turned serious at the same time. A powerful pressure was currently heading towards this place. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.